I didn't know I was muted. Sorry. Welcome to Changemaker Summer Day 2. I hope you got some insights and you enjoyed yesterday. So I was just saying that Barbara and Anne and I were having a few discussions yesterday about what each person was speaking about and what kind of insights we liked and what we didn't like and that type of thing. And it's actually really quite good. So we were so because of that, so Barbara's up next. I think she's on first, but she might be on not 9:30, but probably more like 10 because I think I changed the time. And then we'll have Kendra Lucy. She's a really funny, nice girl. She talks about marketing and she's, that type of thing about what you need to do when you're presenting yourself online. And then Barbara Berkrosi, I can never pronounce her last name. Barbara V, I call her. She's a founder and best-selling author of Kindness. And then we have Margie. And then we have Lana. She's a digital marketing and video strategist. And then we have Lisa Hildebrand. And then we have Pamela. Pamela is somebody who's accomplished founder and entrepreneur. She has her other consulting business, but she started a nonprofit to showcase, keep her daughter's memory alive. And then there's me, get the Founders All Access Pass. So I'll just talk a little bit about that for now while I'm waiting for every people to come on board. So the Founders All Access Pass is a one-time offer just for the summer summit. It's a place where people can come together, other leaders and change agents, founders and CEOs within our community, because there's so many of us, but some of us get caught up somewhere else, but anyway, we all find our way of finding people that support us, who are what we call our tribe, quote. Those are the people that we hang out with. And one of the things that came up from, I think Caroline talked about it yesterday, is about having your own ecosystem, your own group of people that are your people. They sound like you and they are like you. And so that's the idea about, I guess, trying to create an ecosystem of some sort for change agents. So anyway, it's just really helping. The Founders All Access Pass includes your replays, a 30-day trial to the Optimizer community, which is a private group where other entrepreneurs and change agents can gather. And then we have, so you have access to the replays for the 2 days. And then I believe at the end of the 2 days, I'm going to bring on all the speakers, whoever would like to join us, and do a Q&A if you have any questions from the speakers. So please leave them in the comments so I can get them and get the questions to the speakers so we can do a Q&A together. You also get all the gifts offered by the speakers. And I decided to throw in a book club so that we can have every month we'll study a book so that we have continued learning and growth. That's always a interesting thing. People want to talk about their books. So we'll do a monthly book club, and we'll talk about that book and how maybe it relates to your business, maybe it does not, but it has to be a business thing, not just something funny. Well, funny, but you know what I mean? It can't be just personal stuff. So that's kind of what the Founders All Access Pass is. So please enjoy the gifts that the speakers or the presenters give you right now. And then from there, um, we'll go through it. So, yeah, I'm having just a bit difficulty getting all the gifts out to everybody, but I do have a technician working on it right now to help me figure out why they're not being downloaded. But anyway, that's okay. It's all good. So today will be very exciting, a very full day. So I'm looking forward to chatting with all of you again. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat box, whether you're on Zoom or whether you are on YouTube. So please just leave them there and I'll gather them up and we'll ask the speakers, the presenters, if they want to answer them. And we'll do a group thing for that after, because I think it's so important to have everybody together, because you never know, you might come up with other questions and people might have questions and they want to ask, but they're afraid to ask, or, so that's why if you leave them in the comment, it's basically there for you. So if you have, and the other thing that interesting that Barbara shared with me is Zoom apparently has this new thing that if I mute myself, everybody else is muted. So I found a way that I can mute myself and not everybody else muted. So I'll go ahead with that. I'm gonna put my ears on because where I am does get noisy. It will get noisy. So oh, I don't want the phone. I don't need the phone anyway. Oh, okay. There we have it. So I'll put myself on mute and we'll just wait until Barb Ann comes on board. And like I said, she'll be here in about 10 minutes or so. I just thought I'd come on and see if there's any um, questions or things people want to say. And I don't like to hit this on YouTube because that means I'm being double played. So anyway, um, so it talks about kindness conference. Oh, I think I need to update the information here. I can't try to do it because I'm on a shared screen right now. But obviously I need to update that and same with the background. But all good. So yeah, I'll make it. Mhm. Yeah, I decided to live stream in my Hard at Work channel rather than my regular channel. So that's probably why I've got this kind of stuff going on. Yeah. Okay. Then come back to the show page and yeah. And, and so yeah, so I'm just gonna sit here, grab a cup of coffee, just kick back, get organized, make sure you have some snacks while you're watching. Think about what questions you want to know more about when they talk. Um, yeah, and I will be back in about 5 minutes. Okay. So I thought I would just ask or talk a bit about ecosystems. I know that Caroline mentioned that we all need a little ecosystem. I'm just curious to find out what you think an ecosystem is for you. What would that look like? Eco economic, like an eco-economic circle. I know many years ago, a friend of mine was looking at creating that for her business. And so I was just kind of wondering what your thoughts are. Is it about creating an ecosystem within your community, or is it with about your business, or that type of thing? So I'd be curious to find out what your thoughts are about the ecosystem or the eco, um, because ecosystem is to me is more like the economics of your circle, of your industry, of your business, of your tribe. Do you have a tribe? Do you have a circle or group of people that you will all work together that are in a collective agreements, or maybe you make collective agreements? So it'd be, because there's a lot of things. There's cooperatives that are kind of similar for that. And then there's just associations where, you become a member of that association, like a business association. And through my research, I have not seen anything. Um, a lot of things. People, tend to go to, like, for example, when I lived in Sedona, um, when I had my pie business, um, all the wineries and myself and whoever were affiliated with the food circle or the tribe or the understanding of whether you're growing wine, producing it, or you're doing beer, or you're doing food, that there is this ecosystem, and there's always little events that we invite each other to. It's not so much that we would um, do sales for each other, but we would come together as a collective and support each other. Hey, Marilyn, I'm doing this thing. Come on over. And it was great because I got to meet so many new people that, and of course, what I was doing, they've just never heard of what I was doing. So, and I'd always be sampling as well. So it was just kind of interesting to do that. I really enjoyed it. And I guess part of that for me is what I'm looking for again is that kind of collective of people that come together. We weren't a formal group. We all knew each other. And of course, you're a very small town back then. Now it's quite large, but I wonder if it still exists. So anyway, that was just kind of my thought is I'd like to hear from your viewpoint, your comments about what is a collective or ecosystem to you? What does that mean? So that's just my thought, but I hope that you share yours. So let's get going. Let's welcome Barbara Ann. She'll be joining us soon. And so anyway, let me introduce you to Barbara Ann. I've known her for a while, and she's, you know, uh, we all make transitions in our business, right? We might be doing this. She still does coaching, and she's very busy at it. So, but it's just like integrating other ways of coaching, offering other alternatives or transitions or directions. So I'm going to let her talk to you about what she's doing and how she may serve you.
Hi, everybody. It's Mary Lynn from the Changemakers Summit. And I'd like to welcome you to the show with and Barbara and Barney Mills is one of my guests. And we have known her for a while and we've done some things together. So I'm really looking forward to what she has to say to you about
with Shirzad Shami. And I started seeing parallels because so much of what happens today when it comes to mistreatment of others, and you know this better than anyone, you do hard at work, is really about the person who's perpetrating it, not the victim that targeted it.
Yeah.
Well, everything about positive intelligence is fixing from the inside out. And so we started looking at this and saying, okay, we're doing some of this informally, but what if we took a program where we really addressed what's going on with people inside as part of addressing, creating environments of workplace belonging, civility, inclusion, equity, and diversity, so that we're coming at it from inside out and outside in. And that's when our movement really, truly started to take shape. And more people started wanting to know more about how we're doing this. And then I would actually find out that positive intelligence is doing this parallel work, coming at it from positive intelligence. Now, how do we get in and fix it on the inside? And we were already inside and we were looking, okay, now how do we bring in these other tools? And going seed planting.
Planting seeds.
Planting seeds.
Yeah. Planting seeds of kindness.
Yes. And kindness is such a huge part. And I know this is going to be airing during Kindness Week.
Yeah.
And you are queen of planting seeds of kindness. So you're planting seeds of kindness. We're planting seeds. And so it all comes together. Because at the end of the day, so much of this, so much of what we talk about, so much of what we delve into is everybody goes in armored up. And it takes stripping off that armor in environments that really do have to be psychologically safe. So it has to start with a real true commitment, not a check the box performative. Never forget the story you told me about the company that wanted to buy your program so they could say that they bought a program. What is that? How is that going to do anything? It's not. We will not even bring this into a company unless they're willing to see this as a verb. It's willing to do the work. And they're out there, regardless of what you hear in the media.
Yeah.
They're out there because there are real financial benefits to creating environments where people truly feel like they are respected and valued and they belong.
Absolutely. Yeah. So can you just quickly share an example of how you've gone into a company? You don't have to name them or anything. And where you started with them, and then maybe a segment of where you ended up with them.
Sure. Interestingly, it was in some ways pre this program, as I was really starting to formulate this. I was hired into a role that I was asked to come in and fix them. Literally, when I got there that day, director said, okay, you're here, time to fix us. And then the director and the deputy director proceeded to spend the next 90 minutes telling me everything that was wrong with the people that were on my team, their motivations or lack thereof, why they were even there. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say this went on for 90 straight minutes of hearing this one's a problem. This one came in under this special program and we really can't expect much from this person and that. Okay. They just spent 90 minutes trying to convince me to think like them. So what am I going to do with this information? And the minute I walked out the door, I threw it away mentally. Okay. I really, truly want to hear from the people that I'm going to be working with. And I got permission to do an entire district office survey from the team about what they liked, what they didn't like. So, right. What they liked about their jobs, what they didn't like about their jobs, what they thought that we needed, their expertise, what they needed development was all confidential. And then also over the next couple of days, we did a lot of open-ended questions. I love the power of the open-end. And what I learned from one of my favorite quotes, shout out to Joe Antonio, who coined this phrase to this day. I firmly believe is what people say is about them, and what we hear is about us.
Mhm,
And what I got in that first 90 minutes was definitely about them.
mhm.
And as I started to ask open-ended questions about the people that were relying on me to be their team, I learned so much, so many things that you couldn't, they didn't even know. Like one of my team members that I was told came to this particular job through a welfare to work program and not have any expectations of. When denied training, this team member had gone out on her own, gotten education, become a realtor, joined Toastmasters to improve her speaking skills. And I advocated for her to be able to respond to walk-in clients as they came in to ask questions about what we did and did not do as a program. At first I was told, we can't have her represent us. And I said, wait, excuse me. We're based in an urban location. She looks more like anybody else walking through this door. You didn't even know she was doing all of this personal development work because she never asked. Who are you to say she's not capable? We don't even yet know what she's capable of because she's been ignored for 15 years.
Wow.
15 years. And I would have conversations like this over the next 3 years and grew the team. And then, wow, imagine this, when you treat people like human beings and you give them flexibility and you advocate for things like allowing them to work from home or not beating them over the heads when they make a mistake, because you only learn through mistakes. The productivity of the team increased immensely. I mean, like literally when I say that it more than tripled, it more than tripled. And the only reason I moved on from that role is because I was offered an opportunity to go work on this White House initiative where I was going to get to do similar work with an entire city that was closer to where I live. But to this day, I will run into different people that I interacted with in that role that say, and I left it in 2016, and they will say, you changed X or you changed Y for me, for my business, the help you provided. We miss you. There's a vacuum. The way you showed up, the way you met people where they were, really changed the whole perception of what that particular entity could do and what it was capable of. And for several years after, it really continued to sustain itself until subsequent decisions were made. And yeah, unfortunately, some of that work was undone.
Yeah, that's sad when the work is undone. Yeah, yeah. I so appreciate you sharing your story and your life experiences and your honesty and your empathetic and your compassion. And being a real genuine advocate for people. I think that's really important. So thank you so much, Barbara, for being on the call today with me. So appreciate it. And so, by the way, if you want to reach out to Barbara and work with her in a company, her information will be below this video. You can grab it there. She is also offering a PDF or something about some questions about a presentation that you're going to be doing as well. Is that right?
So below this presentation, you'll be able to get general information about our company, a PDF of a version of a presentation that touches on a lot of the things that I just touched on.
Right.
And also gives you a sample of some upcoming, an upcoming training event that we're going to offer. And then we also have 2 upcoming free information sessions about those, which also include access to a free assessment
Right.
that we won't even see. It's
Yeah.
completely confidential. We won't ever see the assessment unless you choose to continue on and go through our programs, but it's yours to keep.
Great. Thank you so much, Barbara. So generous. So thank you again.
It's been an
And,
honor,
yeah,
all mine to be a part of anything that you do.
no, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you everyone soon. Thank you.
Great.
Oh, I don't, sorry. This nice song, but oh, that's wild. Oh. Guess maybe I'm supposed to hear it. I don't know. It's wild.
Gotta love technology.
Yeah.
Actually didn't hear the song because it was the whatever the sound on that was, it didn't carry over. It was really weird.
Yeah, she's on LinkedIn and she's written this song and she sings, it's called Light Bulbs. So anyway, kind of perfect ending too to your talk about, bringing in the light and shining it and keep what, I keep saying share your kindness, keep your light going because you never know who may need it, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, so welcome in, Barbara. Do you like Barbara Ann or just Barbara?
Oh, I'm
Or
Barbara Ann. Definitely
okay,
Barbara Ann.
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to, because sometimes they hyphenate it and sometimes they don't. And you're not like, sometimes not sure. But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd really like to let what a lot of you said is kind of some of the things that I experienced as well when I was going through starting hard at work and trying to find a way around it, kind of thing. And you have, like you were saying, you reached out to the employees, confidentiality, and so, okay, what are the issues? How can I help you? And because obviously the management had their own perspective about how things should be done, right? I always say
Yes.
fish rot from head down. So
Yeah.
there's rotting going on up at the top level. And most of them, many years ago was prevalent because that's just the way business was. Maybe now it's a little bit more open. Do you think it's more open now than it used to be?
Yeah, I think it's definitely evolving. I mean,
Yeah,
change is slow and it's never linear. We always want it to
yeah.
go like this, but it goes like this. But yeah, I think that more and more, whether it's government agencies, solopreneurs or companies with thousands of employees, the way things were done just doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And people are, expecting to be treated differently than they were.
Hmm.
I mean, back when we all started, you were supposed to, quote unquote, check it at the door,
Right.
whatever was going on. Well, we know that literally that's not possible.
Hmm.
People are the sum total of their experiences. So whatever they're going through is going to be with them. And it's reflected in survey after survey after survey. I mean,
Hmm.
a quarter of people in this country um, are having mental health issues.
Hmm.
Um, and other surveys show it's a third, you know.
Hmm.
And I saw a recent poll. Gallup does a lot of work around this, but work-related stress is the fifth leading cause of death in the United States.
Hmm.
So we have got to do better
Hmm.
in terms of how we are treating people, treating each other, treating our teams in the workplace.
Hmm.
And, you know, since all coaching is life coaching, that translates into how we treat each other in life as well.
Right. Right. Yeah, I've learned through my years is that how we treat ourselves is how we treat other people. So it really begins with ourselves first. And then we show up if we're not,
We show up at work with all our stuff, I'll call it. And that's how we treat others, is through how we treat ourselves with our stuff. And everybody has their stuff. And comes in a big pile of stuff, and everybody is pointing fingers, right? And so until we learn to own our own stuff and figure out a way how to communicate better or be more sufficient and being kinder to ourselves, then it's not going to change.
Mhm.
That's just my viewpoint. It's not going
Mm.
to change.
Your viewpoint is is a foundational part of the approach that I talked about with positive intelligence.
Yeah, yeah. And it talks about how you bring up the very point we start with civility. And that's one of the key things about, what other people, how are we civil with each other? Do we give each other enough grace um, or respect? I know respect, sometimes people, you got to earn it to get it, but there's still a certain amount of respect or grace to give each other.
Mm.
And if they're bad, then you could just say, hey, you know. So I think every employer, there's a course that I took many, many, many years ago. It's no longer around. They still do very high-end leadership training, but it's more for companies that have like hundreds of employees. But anyway, it used to be called the Pursuit of Excellence. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but I took all their courses as an individual trying to improve myself. But I really wish that course was still around because it really helps the basic things of helping people, own your stuff. How are you communicating? Where are your stuff? Where's your, things that aren't working for you, how to correct them? What's not so working for you, how do you correct them? So I really wish that program was still around, but it's long gone because the guy that developed it died. So all the stuff went with him. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't. That would be a really beginning for everybody in the workplace to do. But I'm sure that you'll develop your own course and you can take that out there to the workplace. Before we fix anything, try this. Let's do this.
Mhm. We do. We lead everything with a positive intelligence.
Right, right.
Even our own coursework, we give credit where credit's due, but everything leads off with positive intelligence to address what the individuals are going through.
Right, right, right. Okay, good. Any other comments?
No, again,
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is great. Like I said in the video, it's you, I'm showing up. And
Yeah.
so, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share, what really is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked what you shared about that because it allows or gives other people's permission to share too. And hopefully somebody's listening to share, their tragic situations or, shortcomings or whatever. So, yeah,
That was a
great.
really good
Well,
choice. That was a really good choice of words, right? Because the situations themselves, you know, trauma is not what happens to us. It's what happens inside us in response to situations. So the fact that you
right.
called it tragic situations really underscores what they are. Um,
Mm,
they're situations, but what we
yeah.
do with that information is what matters.
Right. It's not to carry it on like, oh, this happened to me, so I'm still carrying it on with it over the years. It's like it was a situation. So you either heal from it or deal with it and let it go. Otherwise, it festers, right?
Mhm.
And it still shows up. So yeah, yeah, cool, cool. So I'm gonna introduce Kendra. Um, I don't know she was referred to me by what's her name? Blanked out on her name. But anyway, Kendra is by Merle, and she is an award-winning marketer, former social media marketing professor. I didn't know there was a social media professor work, but I guess there is. So anyway, yeah, so it's kind of cool. So let's hear what she has to say. We had a great conversation. Builders, we're doing a Changemakers Summit, and I have my guest Kendra. She's a marketing whiz. I hope she can teach me a few things. And she's here to educate you about what you really need to know right now in your business and how to, market it and whatever. But I'm going to let her tell the story because it's her show. I'm just kind of being pretty. Okay.
And you're doing an excellent job of it. Thank you.
Hey, Chandra, welcome to the show. And yeah, please let us know who you are and what you do and how you serve.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I am Kendra Losi. You can find me over at kendralosi.com. I'm a comprehensive strategist. Sometimes words are easier than others. And what that means is that I help businesses with 3 key areas. So with their people, and that includes their internal. As business owners, we have our internal attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors that influence how we show up and how we message our business and how we connect. And then the second part of that is our audience, how we make those connections, and then communication's another pillar, focusing on that message and really making sure you're communicating the value of what you do. And then lastly is the strategic and the tactical, like putting those pieces together and helping implement. So that's how I have taken 25 plus years of digital marketing experience as a adjunct marketing professor and social media professor to help my clients grow their business and increase their revenue and do all the things.
Yeah, great, awesome. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. I was gonna just that's when you have 2 podcast hosts.
Yeah, there's some interference and some overlap going on. So yeah. No, that's great. I love your introduction, and I think we recently kind of talked about a little bit about social media, what's important, and then we also talked about the foundations of marketing, and I think that's really key because it doesn't matter how many people you tell and how many people, you need to have the foundations. Like you need the blueprint of your house to build first before you can expand it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about the foundation as you were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. So like I said, I've been doing this for over 25 years in the digital space, and a lot has changed. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to understanding how to connect with your target audience and with your customers and how to communicate the value so that people understand the problem that you're solving, I always say it comes down to like 3 things at the very base level, right? You want to know your goals and your objectives. Like, what do you do? How to, what are you trying to accomplish? And then you need to know who your audience is. And so you know who you're talking to. And then lastly, you want to make sure that just out of military of like everything just came to me at once. You want to make sure you know your goals, and you want to know who you're talking to, and you want to know how they want to be talked to, and so like where they're at. And so when you start to know those things, you can start to really look at understanding how to reach them and how to connect with them. So whether it's back in the old days and you're running ads and you're doing things and trying to get in front of people's attention and, like newspaper ads or TV ads and spots, or today and you're using TikTok and you're using AI to incorporate all those pieces, it still starts with those like 3 cornerstones, the people, the communication, and where you're reaching them.
Yeah, and the message you want to deliver. I always say you got to know who your customer is. Amazing. So how many people I run into that will say, everybody's my customer. Okay.
Yeah, I always I have flat out told people I will not work with them unless they say like to narrow that down for me. Like if you want to tell me that everyone's your customer because you want to be Coca-Cola, then you better have Coca-Cola budgets to back that. There's no, you're wasting your time and your money. And you're wasting my time.
Right. So
I'm usually nicer about it, but sometimes some people need that. Like you can only tell people so often.
Yeah.
But It's been really interesting how to incorporate a lot of the technology that we have today, and it's so much more fun, right? Because you can actually have those interactions with people and you can actually spend time communicating with them and meeting them where they are in a lot of new and fresh ways that we couldn't do in the past.
Right, right. Yeah, because we're from the old school. We're from where it was TV ads, newspaper ads, print. There wasn't so much technology. I think our generation's gone through the most technology we have in our lifetime. And so as a marketer, like you were saying, marketing has even changed a lot in the last even year. So what are some of your favorite marketing tools you like to work with people the most?
Oh my gosh, I've got lots of tools and lots of things, but here's what a couple years, like 2 years ago, I pivoted my business and because I was working in cannabis marketing. I had two sides of my agency. One side was cannabis, one side was like education and financial services. And then I was writing a book and I was teaching at a university and it was just too much. I needed to focus. So what I did is I stepped back and I looked at what was working for my clients and what wasn't. And really goes back to humanizing our brand, right? With AI and everything else happening, the more you can use people to really connect with other people, the better you're going to be. So I started focusing more on personal branding, helping people use live video so that they can get out there and show themselves because there's so many people who are afraid to show up. They are the best kept secret. They're brilliant at what they do.
Right.
But no one really knows what they do because they're so busy working on their clients that they don't take time to tell people.
Right.
And so working on creating that personal brand, spending time, taking that time to highlight your business and to show up. Live video has been the thing that has worked really well for me and it's worked well for my clients that I've worked with on that.
Right. Yeah. Good. So that I can sort of hear you say that because you rebranded, now you can kind of help more people take a look at their own brand.
Yeah,
Also
absolutely.
for a business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things, and it's given me a lot of room to like play and have some flexibility with it. Like, for example, last July, because my birthday's in July, I decided 2 weeks before that I was going to go live on Instagram every single day for July. Like, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as a test and just see what happens.
Right.
And what I ended up doing is I put this process together using AI to say, okay, here's my target audience. Here's who I am. Let's find some overlap in the topics that I want to talk about. I made an overarching theme. I gave each week a theme. AI and I came up with ideas that I could talk about and even gave me some talking points. And okay, I've got 3 bullets. Here's what I'm talking about today.
Yeah.
It's some days it was like 11:55 because my day just got away from me. And other days it was at 4 p.m. during the week. During the weeks it was at 4 p.m. On the weekends it got crazy.
Yeah.
But it helped me create a process to be able to create posts, create live video, and do this seamlessly for 31 days in a row without any hiccups.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So what are some of your tools? You said you have lots of tools. Can you give?
I do have lots of tools. So my favorite tool right now there's a few. One is Magi. It's my favorite AI tool to use because it incorporates quite a few different AI tools within it. So you can pick different ones based on what you want to do, and you can save prompts and profiles. So I have different prompts set up for different clients, so that way everything can be in their voice.
Right.
Another tool that I use is I can't live without Ecamm, and I also use StreamYard too for my podcast. But I love Ecamm as a live video tool to be able to communicate out, and go live.
Yeah.
I also use ActiveCampaign for email marketing, and then I use Descript for video editing, getting my transcripts, and getting all the different things that I'm now using because I took that, what I learned over July and said, okay, well, now I know I can do this every day.
Right.
And that's quite a lift. So, and I can make it as seamless as possible. So in December, I launched a podcast that's weekly
Mm-hmm.
and then use the same kind of process to like, okay, how can I make this seamless and what tools can I use for that?
Right.
So
Right.
that's where like Descript comes in, Magi comes in, Ecamm comes in, and then I've been playing a little bit with Opus clips to be able
Oh.
to take the big videos and
Mhm.
slice them up.
Okay.
Descript helps me with that too. And I'm trying to think of what other tools I use. I use ClickUp for project management. And I use tools like there's a tool I use called Taja that's helping like optimize for YouTube.
Okay.
There's so many different things that go into it. So
Mhm.
here's my thing is that I'm sitting here talking about Instagram and YouTube and podcasting. Like I never recommend to clients that they do all these things,
Yeah.
right? Start,
Yeah.
go one, start, get it down, and then expand it out once you're
Mhm.
ready.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I like to experiment on everything so that way I know how to best help my clients.
Right.
So, I sometimes like, I'm over here and I'm here and I'm over here because I'm busy testing everything.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
can I know what's going to work best for my clients if I haven't tried it in different
Yeah.
areas for myself?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've done TikTok live, like if you
Yeah.
name it, I've probably tried it or set it up as a regular thing for a while just to see how it worked
Yeah.
and teach it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you recommend that your clients use with your just working with them? How do you work with them? And then what kind of recommendations do you give for them? Just
That's a great
general.
question. Sorry, that's a great question because part of how I help my clients is understanding where they're feeling stuck and what they're doing. So if someone comes to me and says they don't know how to grow their business, right? We do an audit to see where they're feeling stuck, where things seem to be. Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it the offer? Like where is the things that are getting stuck
Yeah.
and not to find that source of that thing. Because sometimes if you fix one area, you can easily move forward. So find that area where they're stuck. So we have that call and then we go through and it depends on the person, right? Sometimes they want to be a key day to get it done and we'll put together, they want it at their website and some of their other stuff, and then we'll just put a roadmap together. So that way they have a roadmap of what they can do each month for 6 months or a year, depending on who we're, how it is, 3, 6, or 12 months.
Mhm.
And then we give them the action plan. And then because of my experience as a university professor, I have a lot of videos and training that I've put together.
Mhm.
I also have a group coaching program too that has a lot of resources in it. And I have all those resources and videos. So once we do that VIP day, like if they, I also send them, okay, here's some videos to watch on how to use StreamYard or Ecamm. Here's
Yeah.
what you need. Like if you're going to implement this, which you are,
Yeah.
here are the tools that you need, and I've got the lessons on how to use them.
Right.
Because a lot of people get caught up on the how am I going to implement it.
Yeah.
And so I, I worked with a lot of really big businesses where I put marketing plans together for them and then they didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've worked with smaller companies where we put marketing plans together and they didn't go anywhere. And that's where I've increasingly put more focus on the implementation. Like let's take away those things that might be holding you back in terms of how, is the challenge crime or competence? Is it knowledge that you just don't know?
Yeah.
That you don't know what to say if you know on your posting? Like what are the things that are stopping you from moving forward to promote your business? And then we
Okay.
focus on those.
I might have to be calling you soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts or anything you want to share with people that you want them to know about you?
I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people tend to just think that it sounds hard or they're like, oh my gosh. And I hope that's no one watching, right? But there's a lot of people who really feel like I don't want to self-promote. I don't want to do this. It feels wrong. It feels wrong. I'm just, people should know who I am. I'm good enough.
Mhm.
Or honestly, I also hear from a lot of people that they think they're too old.
Yeah.
And all of these things are just in our heads, right? They're decisions that we've made. There's something we choose to believe, and and that's and that is something that you can control. That is something that we can work together to get over, because if it's information you need or resources you need, or those things are easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to get started. It's
Yeah.
hard to sit, to keep going.
Right. Right.
And so understanding that and finding the right tools that'll help you keep going
Mhm.
is what I love to do.
Right. Right.
And so if you're listening and that's where you're stuck, or if you're not sure, absolutely reach out and have a session, because we can help pinpoint that and find where what you can do and the steps you can take in order
Yeah.
to grow your business and to
Yeah.
show up in the best way possible.
Yeah. So it's not only mindset, it's the tool and how to do it. Because
Right.
otherwise you get stuck in somewhere in there, mostly how do I do it, right?
Yeah, and that's where I've started to put more focus, right? Like I said, I have a group coaching program that helps people, that I walk people through this whole process.
Mhm.
So they go from like, what's your message? What are you talking about? What are you doing? Who are you talking to?
Right.
All the way to they are going to go live 6 times by the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love it.
so if somebody wants to sign up for your group coaching, we'll put a link below this video and they can sign up and work with you. You also have given us a free gift that people can download. If we can't download it, I'll email it out to you. And that'll be it. So please let people know how they can get a hold of you otherwise.
Absolutely. I am at kendralosi.com.
Mhm.
You can find me on LinkedIn at Kendra Losi, and on Instagram and TikTok, it's Kendra Losi. And that's Losee.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Kendra, for being on the call with me today. So appreciate your time. I know it's valuable and had a great conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Oh, it's interesting how even Kendra has she's more fine-tuned into her method now of how what she teaches people. So she's gotten clear. Like I think we've all go through those transitions where we look at and say, well, what am I doing? Is it still working? No. Okay, time to gear up to do something else. I really liked what she had to say. We had a great conversation prior to the interview. So I wish that maybe we included part of that because it was a really good conversation. But anyway, yeah, it was good. So what did you think?
I think I already know someone I want to refer her to who's really been struggling around her whole digital media presence.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, that's the biggest thing that jumps out to me. I love the fact that she really looks at the true potential and purpose
Mhm.
as part of the process.
Yeah.
Because so many companies do that from a performative place and not an
Yeah.
authentic place.
Yeah. 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 That was very cool. So and you know, it's interesting that she's a professor just like you. And now she's just working with businesses that not necessarily that have to be big businesses, more small, probably more smaller businesses. And of course, to build a purpose-driven, sustainable business, because that's what she comes from. And so it's just like, okay, how do I weave that into business? And big businesses are, well, most of them do the corporate giving, which is just, whitewash.
Yeah. Yes, as we talked about in mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that firsthand.
Yeah, I know a lot of that firsthand. But yeah, so cool. So anyway,
we could carry on with the next guest is Barbara. I can never pronounce her last name. Can you? So I just call her Barbara V. I've known Barbara for a long time
For
too.
Chris, their Chris.
For Chrissy, for
Yeah,
Chrissy.
hate to butcher
Anyway.
her name. She's Barbara. I'm Barbara Ann.
Yeah,
She is the focus of the moment.
yeah. Barbara is she's a best-selling author and founder. She kind of I met her years ago when we were both kind of I was doing more kindness stuff. It's not that I don't do it now, but I'm just finding a different way of doing it. But anyway, so we had a great conversation and she was teaching or telling me about why the world needs more kindness in the workplace. It kind of leads into what you're doing, really, right? In from the Change Maker Summit, and I'm here with Barbara. Barbara and I have worked together several times before, and I'm so glad that she always says yes to me. So Barbara is going to lead her presentation, and Barbara, could you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you serve? And that would be great. And I'll
Yes.
catch you all at the end of the presentation.
Okay, so I'm Barbara Verkroes. I live in
Verkroes.
Belgium, which is the middle of Europe. I have been happily married for more than 25 years now. The mom of three young adults and running a business since many, many years, although my business has taken different forms. But since the past 7 years, I've run a consulting and coaching business. One of my largest clients or biggest clients is BMW. I work together with them for operational excellence, quality management, making sure that teams perform well being on the work floor. I do also personal mentoring, mostly for young entrepreneurs. And you could say my biggest mission or purpose in life is bringing more kindness and compassion in aspects of society. And maybe you can ask yourself, I call myself a global kindness advocate. What would inspire someone to become a global kindness advocate besides of doing the things we do in life? And Marilyn knows that story already. At the age of 32, which is more than 21 years ago, I was diagnosed with a stage 4 skin cancer. So I was running a construction business at that time since 5 years. And our youngest son, the youngest of 3, was only a few months old. So as you can imagine, if you're told at 32, you will not survive the end of the year, you have to close down your business, what you could say, it really shakes your entire existence. And it taught me some of the most valuable lessons. And maybe that's my message for people who are going through great challenges right now. That is that after you have gone through this challenge, most of the time there is blessing in disguise. We don't see it in the moment. It's difficult because there's the shock, there's the panic, there's the pain. But once we can move beyond that and see what's the lesson in here or what's the blessing in here, I think it becomes very valuable. So for me, the major lessons that I learned, the first one was, you could say, the power of positive thinking. The first night in hospital, I will never forget, we was a young mom, and it was the first time that I didn't have any children with me. No, the toddlers, the baby, they were with my parents. My husband was at home, and I felt lost and lonely. I missed my babies. I had 3 children in 4 years. So all of the time you have them around you and you have that warmth, and it just felt lonely, lost and cold. And I started crying, watching the ceiling. But after a few moments, I was thinking, Barbara, what are you doing to yourself? You're filling yourself with despair. And I was thinking the children where they are now, they were very young. they are surrounded by love. They were with my parents-in-law, and they were so young that they didn't have a clue what was happening. One was 3 years old, my middle was 2 years old, and the youngest only a few months. So I was telling myself, they thought they were on a kind of a holiday with their grandparents. So I told myself, okay, the kids are fine. They are very safe. They are surrounded by them. What would you right now weaken yourself with depressing thoughts? Why would you weaken yourself right now with despair? And it was like, like an aha.
Mhm.
Okay, I might not have control immediately on my health. There was one thing that was in my control. That was the thoughts that I would focus on. Would I go into negativity and despair, or would I stay positive and even joyful? And many people find that hard to believe, but I made a vow to myself that even if those would have been my last 6 months, that I would spend them in joy. I would spend them with, like in love with my family. So I very quickly had like the realization, we choose what we focus on. And it's not about suppressing feelings. It's not about being fake positive. It's just about you have the feelings, you embrace them, but then once you have like felt the feelings and embraced, that you can choose, what do I do with it? And that you have a very strong inner power. And during those months in hospital, I was 32, and I was looking back and asking myself, what if I would not survive? Would I be happy with my legacy? And the answer was no, I would not. Why? Because until that moment, I had mostly lived up to the expectations of people around me, parents, my peers, what culture told me. So I had always been the good girl. I did what I thought was expected from you could say, a good person. So went to college, married, like a job. And it's not that I was unhappy. It's just that I never thought about a legacy or leaving a legacy, and being faced with death so suddenly made me think about it. So I made a promise to myself. I told myself, if I survive every single day, I will build a positive legacy. And in the beginning, I didn't know how that would look like. It's not like I had a huge plan, like I knew. I was still, after a year of surgeries and chemotherapy, fortunately, I recovered, went back to my construction business, and started a journey of self-discovery. While running the construction business, I read books on self-development, psychology, spirituality, went to coaching courses. I got some coaching certifications because I felt I was born, you could say, to be a positive influence in other people's lives. And gradually, I felt like what I had always felt in business, especially. I had been told my entire life that I was too kind for this world. That people would tell me, Barbara, you're too kind. You will never be successful. You're too kind. And since a young age, that sentence had startled me. What do people mean? You're too kind. It just couldn't in my head. Did I have to become less kind? What world are we living in? Are we telling our children or young people, you're too kind? And I was like, no, there's no such thing as too kind. There is a thing as setting healthy boundaries and not be a people pleaser. But that's when I realized the difference between being nice and between being kind. If we're nice out of politeness. we're nice to the elder man, the pregnant lady. And it's more like a convention of society. You're nice to some. Some people, niceness is very often also fear-based. Some people are nice to their rude boss. Like they're just smiling and nodding because they're afraid of losing their job. Some people are nice to a toxic partner who is not treating them respectfully just because they don't want the other person to become angry. That's fear-based. That's being nice. But when you're kind, even when the other person might be rude, you stay out of the negativity of that person. And it's a love-based choice. You are kind, but you stay out of the negativity. They're very powerful. And you can see through the behavior of the other person. You can see that the rude person often is insecure, that a rude person often is, you could say, an unstable character. And if you are moving even further in awareness, you can feel compassion for the good one, for the respectful one, because you know that what that person says, he is creating that energy or that atmosphere for her or himself. And if you decide it doesn't hurt me, I will not allow these words to come, like onto me, we can only be humiliated if we listen to the words or we accept these words. But if you say, okay, I do not have to listen to this, we can change the conversation, we can make this a constructive conversation. You, first of all, to fight, you have to be two. If one stays silent outside of the provocations, outside of the triggering, nothing happens. At a certain moment, the person stops because there's no reaction. And then you can choose your response from a calm, centered, and kind place. And talk to that person, not out of a sense of superiority, I'm better, from another awareness, you could say. Your awareness is different. You can see that only a hurt person or a immature person would behave in the way that that person behaves. And you do not have to participate on that level, you could say, of discussion. So that's, like in my work that I do with BMW, they know that in the meantime, that when I enter, there's always positivity, sunshine entering the room, even if we have some problems, if we have some struggles, even within teams, that there are struggles, people can vent for 5 minutes and then we look for a solution. We will never go into some negative spiral in starting to finger pointing, blaming, accusing. That never helps. It doesn't help. When you start judging, you lower your vibration. It's always about staying outside of a certain negative vibe and choosing to have a different response. And in having that different response, you become a role model because you model for others another way of being, another way of interacting, that even people who maybe insulted me a few years back have now gained respect for me. There can be a change, and in kindness you build bridges. It's about always reaching out. Somebody can have a bad day. Somebody can have had a very different upbringing from yours, where yelling and shouting was normal. You can say that that's not the way you communicate, but you can do that without judging the person. You'd never know where people come from. And you can teach them to be or behave in a very different way, in just staying to be that role model. So, and last year in November, I wrote a book or published a book, which is called The Path of Powerful Kindness. Because for me, kindness is extremely powerful just because you choose it and just because it has nothing to do with weakness. Weakness for me is people who are, you could say, eaten away by our emotions or aggression. It's not because you're aggressive and loud, you're powerful. Absolutely not. If you are graceful, silent, and calm, you are a lot more powerful because you have a clarity of mind that somebody who is blinded by emotions or by anger doesn't have. You stay outside all of that. So that's really a dream come true. That's really building that legacy. That's teaching people about powerful kindness and how that creates a ripple effect, and it changes the choices we make. It changes the choices we make in our personal relationships, in our business relationships, in our care for the planet, in our care for other people, in our care for animals. It's just if you make kindness-based choices, you have a completely different, like your life shifts in the way you look at life. So that's a bit in a nutshell. I don't know, Marilyn, if you have other questions or if something comes up.
Yeah, no, that was a really good reminder about how to stay out of the drama and the
Yes.
trauma that's
Yes.
going on, right? It's just be within yourself, your whole self, right? So I really
Yes.
appreciate that point. So Barbara, can you tell us a little bit about a before and an after when you worked with the client and how you
Yes.
were able to switch
Yes.
their mind around?
Well, I got a message the other day, which really made me, like happy. Some a client of mine who's an anesthesiologist in hospital, and she's a very powerful lady. And she told me that I taught her really to go through life because she had like quite some trauma from her youth, which made her from the outside seem like a harsh person. But it's just she had really that struggle, that survival struggle from childhood on. And I taught her really that you can be powerful and kind and graceful. And she sent me like the biggest lesson you learned me was the kindness and the grace, but with so much power that and that made me happy. Today I had another client who sent me a message that and he read my book, and his 15-year-old son read my book now too, and he was talking to his son, and he told his son, well, no, what do you want to be in life? And he said, I want to be kind. And I was like, oh my God, that's really making an impact. Even if I had like 20 years ago, no idea. And I will really give the message to people. Never think that you don't make an impact. Never think that you are simply, let's say, a business owner who's doing his or her business, and that we all have an impact. So much more than we think. And in every daily encounter, even if it's at the grocery store and the cashier might be grumpy, and you start a conversation with a smile, and you turn things around. Everybody waiting is watching. Wow, that person brings a different vibe here. She's not going into the negativity that was here. So in every human encounter, we can make a difference. And I think that we are all leaders. We are all natural born leaders. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a daughter, a sister, a manager, whatever you do in life, people see you, people watch you, and you inspire a lot more people than you could ever imagine. Even if people don't say it right away, and even if sometimes you would think that your kindness goes unnoticed, it doesn't.
Mm.
It doesn't. It really matters.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But then we're on the same page on that. anyway.
Yes. We're on the same
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, kindness is very, very tough. So and thank you
Yes.
for writing about that. I think it's so cool and so good. So
Yes.
Barbara, if you want to work with Barbara, her link below the video will be shown, and you could click in and go work with Barbara if you like to work with her. You like what she had to say, and maybe have some challenges you want some redirection on. She'll do it for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I guide people with love and warmth.
Mhm.
And yet at the same time, I'm a very practical, business-oriented person. So I have both poles, you could say.
Yeah.
I run a successful business, but I am leading from the heart.
Right.
And I think that if you can do that, combine that, I didn't have to betray my soul or sell my soul to become successful. I didn't have to compromise on my values. And I had to fight for that. To
Right.
stay really in my kindness, in my love, in my care, and still set boundaries with people who don't have the awareness, and would cross certain borders or boundaries. People know.
Right.
And I set the boundaries, but I set them in a way which is always respectful, but is very, it's like you could say I do my like magnetic field of light, right? And they just don't, like
They can't get
cannot
through any
enter.
other way.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah. And Barbara, your gift today is what?
Yes.
You got your
It's an ebook,
ebook.
and it's called Grow into Prosperity. Because I think that what we are, what we radiate, is what comes back.
Right.
So we can really train ourselves if we go through life in a joyful, passionate way, in a servant way, then you grow into your prosperity. And prosperity is so much more than an amount of money on a bank.
Right.
Your wealth and your abundance, first of all, lays in your own freedom. If you can free yourself from certain limiting beliefs, from certain things that would pull you down, if you raise that awareness, it's kind of a guide to expansion. You could say expansion in all fields of your life.
Right, right. Yeah, we all have to have them, or we all at least try to do our best to get there, right?
Yes, yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. I so appreciate
My pleasure.
listening to you again, and your inspiring kindness, making it powerful once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, grow into prosperity with kindness. Like she said, it's not necessarily a number, it's to bring more powerful kindness into your own life. What do you think, Barbara? You're nodding your head.
Now, at the risk of using a religious reference, she was preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
Loved everything that she does, what she stands for, her approach, her mindset. It is proof that there are many of us.
Yeah.
Whether it's you, whether it's Barbara.
Yeah.
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 And other people that you're featuring, that that there are people out here who are committed to this mission, that everybody should be treated with kindness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's simple. Like you said, a lot of people get kindness mixed up with being nice, or kindness is weak, or kindness is something other than it's not. And so, yeah. And, like you're saying,
or she's preaching it to the choir, but I think also that it needs to be repeated because people seem to somehow think it's something it's not. And I think as long as all of us keep our light shining, more people will want to say, hey, I want to hang out with you guys. You look like more fun people. Yeah, even though it's work, hard work, or it can be. Yeah,
Well
yeah,
said.
yeah. So next speaker is quite different. Do we need a break? Are you okay?
Your call.
Okay. Well, we could do Margie next, and then maybe we'll take a few minute break, pee break.
Sounds
So
good.
yeah. So Margie, I've known Margie for a really long time, and she's on her own mission, but it's quite different than from what our mission is. She wants to help more entrepreneurs get the funding they need. Um, and she says a lot of people just don't realize how much money that there's out there or resources or where they can go to. So she works with another company that helps people find the resources they need for their company. And she says, like she said, there's so much out there. And when I talked to Heather at SBA on Monday, she said that, right now they're focused on the PPP but yet there's still money out there for people. So where do you find it and how do you access it? So she comes from a different angle, but she is a very kind person. So anyway, let's hear what she has to say.
Hi, everybody. It's Marilyn Harris with the Changemaker Summit, and I have my friend Margie Basraba. You know, it's why she's got the beach in the background because she's bouncing around. But anyway, I've known Margie for a long time. So anyway, we're going to talk to her today about MAD enterprises make a difference. So she's going to talk more about that and how she can serve you. Okay, Margie, sorry. Go ahead, leading with your last name now. Stuck with
Yeah,
it.
that's okay. I've been called worse. But yeah, it's Margie Basaraba, and I always say it that way. It's even on my voicemail, and I have people singing and dancing to me all over the world. So it's a fun last name. I'm just glad. Everybody always says, well, where's that from? And they get all, you know, crazy about how to spell it and everything. I said, it's really easy. And it's Ukrainian background. So I'm glad it's not all the XYZs that you can't say or spell.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for inviting me, Mary Lynn. We have known each other for quite a while. When I was working down in that Northern California area, I got to go to your birthday party
Yeah.
and I was helping launch a company down there that was helping local restaurants. And I'm just glad I wasn't in the restaurant, promotion business during COVID.
Yeah.
I had changed. But yeah, so now I'm here in Eugene, Oregon, actually Springfield, Oregon. And I own a website called springfieldspotlights.com. Okay. And I partnered with Best Town Media. And what they do is as a real estate agent, and they work with real estate agents all over the country. And this is one of my branding. It's one of my ways that I can brand my real estate business and set myself apart from every other real estate agent.
Right, right.
So I'm with EXP Real Estate, and that sets me apart. But my goal has always been, and in this last chapter of my work life, my whole reason for being is going to be how can I help other local businesses? And so this platform gives me the ability to do that. So with Springfield Spotlights, my whole goal is to be able to take a business, really highlight them, and I want to be able to show their story behind their business, what sets them apart from every other business owner.
Mhm.
And then along that way, I'm able to help them by introducing them to make sure that their Google business profile is up to speed. What other ways can we help them with their social media? But we all know that video is one of the best ways to be able to promote your business.
Mhm.
And I've never been really good at it either, but I'm, it is tough to be able to look
Yeah.
at yourself on video. So this gives me a platform that I can give back to businesses, nonprofits. I can promote events but really it's about telling the story of those business owners. So once I tell their story, then we help promote it on all of our business channels. We do cross promotion to make sure that we're getting their word out there. And one of the things I do behind the scenes also is I'm working to help them find money to be able to support their business, right? There's a lot of different programs out there that businesses can do to be able to get more business. But what I'm finding is that most businesses do not know about any of the tax credits or tax incentives that are due them. And so one of the things that I'm doing is really helping them identify any state, local, or federal tax incentives and expense reduction programs that are available to them. And the reason that I really wanted to do that is because the company that I've partnered with is there's no cost to them upfront, right? If we don't find them money from any of the different millions of dollars of programs that are out there, if our company does not find them money, then they don't pay us. So how different is that? I mean, most businesses, I've always, done a little bit in my past about helping businesses be found on the internet, SEO and just all those different things. And I've been a traditional business owner myself. And people get inundated with people saying, well, I can help save you on your credit card processing fees.
Yeah.
And their eyes get glazed over because there's, 1 or 2 percentages, but the trying to change all that it's not worth the result, or that's not worth the getting the info.
Yeah.
And so, and even SEO, right? And we don't do SEO, but this is just an example.
Right.
So on an SEO, somebody said they promise you the moon. Oh, you need to be at the top of Google. I can get you there, but go ahead and pay me for the next 6 months because that's how long it's going to take for me to do the work to get you up there. But there's guarantees, right? So when I saw this as a business owner, that I can give back to businesses and connect them to a company that's been helping businesses for the last 23 years, and they do it on their dime, right? So we do a simple intake form that they can just go to my landing page, get the information and find out what they're eligible for. And then they go to work for them. When they find them the money, that's when they send them a bill. And I'm like, that is the best plan ever. I wish I would have had somebody show me a program like that when I had my business, right? My brick and mortar store. Uh-oh, Marilyn, I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm muted.
Oh,
Sorry. As
That's
we're
okay.
talking, I'm thinking, it's sort of like you're an entrepreneur resource center,
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
all the services that you are providing,
Yeah.
financial services, some marketing services. So there's sort of like an umbrella there. Maybe that's why it's called that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I'm not the expert in all of these things,
Yeah.
but I know what a business owner needs, whether you're a startup business, whether you're a business that's been around for a long time, and I know who to connect you to. So that's what I want to be known for. And Springfield Spotlights lets me do that. And just my experience as a brick and mortar business owner, a self-employed owner, entrepreneur, doing my own, learning how to do all the digital marketing. Some of that, it's like, yeah, I can learn to do it, but do I want to do that all on my own? No, I don't. Not in this last chapter of my work life. But I want to help businesses and local organizations, churches, nonprofits. There's so much money out there that they're eligible for, billions and billions of dollars. And most small businesses do not know how to access it. And that's my team, and my role is to help them access that money that they're due without any money out of pocket upfront.
Yeah, that's a great service, Margie. So, can you give an example where you helped a client?
Yeah. So Well, and we've all heard of the ERC program.
Mhm.
And so there's the company that I'm with now is not just the COVID ERC, but they've been doing disaster ERC for a long time. And then there's we can help them if they're a business owner and they own their own building. We're helping them with property tax relief. We're helping them with their credit card. We take a look at all their credit card bills, but without having to change vendors, we're finding them 1% savings over the fees that they're at now, but they do not have to change their equipment or anything. We literally just do an audit on their credit card bills now and save them anywhere from 5 to 21% on the fees that are hidden by all those credit card companies.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Yeah. So anything else you'd like to share about how you've been able to help so many entrepreneurs?
well, like I say, it's really just getting to know you
Mm-hmm.
and doing just a discovery call, right?
Right, right.
Find out about you, what
Mhm.
makes your business tick. Let's
Right.
get a video going and I'll come do the interview with the local Springfield businesses or Eugene, Oregon businesses, but we can do it on Zoom too. But mainly I'm promoting it through this spotlight, which is local businesses.
Right, right.
But I can do an interview and I can help businesses all over the US with these tax credits. I'm not limited by geography there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
then
important.
yeah, and it is. So we just get on Zoom, we do a quick discovery call, and I just have a landing page that helps people really without even having to talk to anybody on the team. You can see what you're eligible for and see if it's worthwhile even scheduling an appointment.
Right, right.
And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
my whole goal is to help businesses and then really be able to get them the money they need to invest in their business, invest in their retirement, invest in their, into their employees. But
Right.
and so that's why I'm really excited about what I'm doing. And your timing is perfect because again, it's about making a difference, and
Yeah.
you and I've been connected for so many years and we've been trying to find ways that we can help each other out. And, I love what you do. You're all about helping businesses, and this summit is amazing. And
Mhm.
so I'm glad
Thank
that you
you.
invited me to be a guest on there. And if I can help a couple of businesses find the money they need to really make a difference in their community,
Mhm.
make a difference for their employees, then that will make me happy.
Right, right. Yeah, it's always about serving others first. And then
Yes.
after that, you build up the trust and more people want to work with you and so forth, right? So, yeah. Well,
Yep. Well, and like I say, give back first. I don't
Mhm.
have to have money up front. I just want to learn your story and see how I can help.
Absolutely. Great. So Margie, for your free gift today or when your event, when your speaking is happening, what are you offering?
Well, what I'm offering is that free discovery call
Okay.
and getting that audit. And then
Mhm.
there are some different reports and things that we can get them done just to see how we can be effective.
Mhm.
Anyone in the Eugene Springfield area can get a free listing on my website, which details their business.
Mhm.
And then we can get their story told.
Right,
And
right.
then if they want to start a website like what I'm doing, I can connect them to best town agents. And a lot of real estate agents and mortgage teams partner together, again, to be able to get this kind of a site going in their area because now it sets them apart.
Right.
They're not saying, just every real estate agent asking the same question, who do you know that wants to buy or sell a house? When do you get a real estate agent that comes to you and says, hey, let me learn about your business and how can I help you? And then, yes, if I get some real estate business out of it, I'll refer it to the experts on my team, which are on the EXP real estate team.
Right.
But you just don't get people that are, going to help you and really just wanting to know what we can do to help and finding money for you
Mhm.
without having to get a lot of money up front. So
Right, right, yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Margie. So look forward to hearing more about what you're doing later. And everybody, under Margie's video will be a link to her freebie and to her gift, I should say, probably is a better word. And then the link to her landing page where you can get the information and maybe she can help you out.
Yeah,
Okay,
that would be great.
okay, great. Thanks, Margie. Thank
All
you for
right,
joining
well,
us.
Let's
take
go
care.
out. Let's go
Go out
out
there.
and make a difference.
Go out and make a difference. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Have a
Okay.
great day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Ah. Yeah, I forgot about that. She does the Eugene Springfield spotlight. She was telling me that there was a new business in her area, an ice cream shop that wanted this service. So she went out to spotlight him. She did the video and everything. And then she just said to the ice cream guy, could you possibly just give, when somebody mentions the video or something, would you mind just giving them some sprinkles on their ice cream for free? And I guess he went berserk and he says, now you want me to give away something? So she just said that was the worst case situation. But yeah, it's true. You try to she says, I don't charge for that. It's just something for me to say, here's, yeah, I give you a sticker, put in your window, let you know that you're featured on this show or this website and find out more about us there. And that's where she puts the video. But anyway, it's just kind of interesting. But yeah, I forgot about that story she shared with me. So, any comments? Pretty quiet over there. Pretty quiet
No,
over there in the
yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
gallery.
again, I think that, you've put together such a great group of people, each, changing the world and showing kindness and generosity, um, to people in all different ways.
Yeah.
And, the fact that she's being so focused in her local community when so many smaller businesses and communities are struggling
Mm-hmm.
is, really speaks to her and who she is,
Mm-hmm.
as a person and her
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. No, she's all there for sure. For sure. So let's just take a pee break.
Sounds great.
I'm gonna stop the share. I don't know what would happen if I stopped the share. Oh, it'd just be you and I.
Just us.
Just us. So I'll just do the stop share and I'll just mute myself. If you want to keep talking, Barbara, you take over.
No, I think a bio break is a good idea. So, I'm with you in that.
Okay. See you back in about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'm just going to turn my camera and mic off.
Yeah.
Okay.
back. So we'll do a screen share. Yeah, okay. They can see my application. Great. Okay. So it's 11:30. We're a little ahead of time, but that's okay. 11:30, 12:45. Sorry, I keep forgetting about my earplugs. So we'll start a little ahead of the game, but that's okay. If you're watching, I hope you're enjoying it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Um, yeah. Okay. Get back down and show toolbar and full screen. Oh, well. Yeah, it's unfortunately I have to do this in Chrome because I'm not a Chrome person. But anyway, it's okay. It's all good. So welcome back if you're back. I had a short break, just to kind of freshen up. So my next guest is Lana Marshland. She's a digital marketing and video content strategist. That's a mouthful. So her idea is to create videos to help people share their story, and working on her audience is really Christian women, and what she's trying to work on. And so her website is available there, and yeah, so let's see what she has to say. Okay, there you go, Lena. Show's yours.
Hello, everybody. It's Mary Lynn of Change Maker Summit. And I'm so glad that you joined us this moment. I have Lana with me, and she's a wonderful gal, and I'm sure you really enjoy what she's going to tell you and how she's going to help you. So, Lana, please introduce yourself.
Oh, hey everyone, my name is Lana. I work with videos, ads, and funnels. And I would like to share my presentation with you. And today we're going to talk about endless ideas for video reels. So let me first share my screen. And then I'm going to share my presentation with you. You can see it, right, Marilyn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So thank you, Marilyn, first of all, for inviting me and for this wonderful opportunity. It's a pleasure and honor to be a part of this team. So thank you very much. I also appreciate your mentorship for more than a year. you're real gem and very helpful. And because of you, I am where I am right now. So thank you very much. And we can begin. And I can tell you guys a little bit about me. So I started working professionally with camera in 2019. Although I did use camera ever since I was a kid, I was doing photos and videos, and up to my adult life, I never thought that the video or photo can bring some income. So I actually went to college to get my BS in accounting. And as soon as I finished it, I started taking photo, film, and marketing classes for fun. So I delayed this a little bit, but it's all making sense to me now. I'm appreciative that I got my BS in accounting as well, because this complements each other, by the way. So what I'm doing is creating promotional videos. As I mentioned before, I'm also creating convertible sales funnel and brand optimization. So it probably doesn't tell you much about what I'm doing. So I would like to give you examples instead. So let's say you're selling a book or any other tangible items. So you can come to me and say, hey, Lana, I would like to sell a book. What can you do to help me? So in this instance, I would offer you to get a funnel. And funnel would help us to increase visibility, gain some leads, and sell the books, and you can collect money through the funnel. So if you, for example, a coach, then there are a bunch of different other services you can benefit from. For example, we can optimize your brand, which means we improving your strength, your strongest side of yourself. Some people know them and they're just too humble to share. Some people don't know how to share it. Some people don't even know what they have. So my goal is to highlight that and show the best side of you and attract your tribe to you. And so we can do it through posts. For example, we can create a plan for the whole month or two with gradual introduction of your self, of your best self. We can also do it through videos. For example, I can do a bunch of reels for you. You can just order 3 or you can order more. It's up to you. But we can definitely do it strategically. You can also order just one video, like an introduction for your website where we're highlighting that. And we want to make it as organic as possible, because people, when they see ad, I mean, I know I'm working with ads and I'm attracted to those ads more that are organic. Organic means you don't even feel it's an advertisement. So this is what I am shooting for. It's making it as organic and natural as possible so people don't even feel like we're selling. So basically, I just want to emphasize, and you already know it, when we're using photos, especially at the beginning when we don't have that many followers, is not as effective as videos. This is why this topic that I'm covering right now is helpful. So if you're okay and comfortable with being on camera but don't know what to post to attract your crowd and your ideal clients, this is for you. And I'm encouraging you to stay till the end, because we're gonna cover something in addition that is gonna be so very helpful. This also basically help us to discover new way of finding topics for the videos, but it also will help you to find new tools, also help you to understand marketing a little bit. So stay till the end. Here it is. It's just our highlights and outline. We're not gonna spend much time on that. So I didn't mention at the beginning, but I'm gonna do it right now. Most of you familiar with ChatGPT, and if you're using it right, you can really, it's like you have a coach in a way, but you have to use it. So anyways, very first step in finding the very custom topics for your videos is to first understand who you're serving to. If you already have an image of your ideal client, then just spell out who that is. If you don't, then this first step is for you. So we want to create an ideal client based on who you are, on your personality, on your goals, on your past. Like, for example, when I was creating my ideal client image, I even put some information about my childhood, my traumas, my struggles, my goals, my job, my skills, values, likes, dislikes, interests. You can also add what you're good at, what is your goal in the future, what are you working on right now, who you want to become, what type of people you like, and who would you like to attract to your education. Basically, this is just an example and a framework that you can use, but you can build upon it and make it even better. So prompt is for you to copy and paste it. And we're not gonna read, I'm not gonna read it out loud. But just so you know, you basically first put all the details that I just described, and then you adding prompt. I want you to, and all just everything that is spelled down there. So after our ideal client, an ideal persona is created, this step is included for you to compare to the last one that is so very specific and so very engaging. So if you just say, hey, ChatGPT, make a 2-month schedule for social media based on my ideal client, which is already customized. It already knows what you're looking for, who you want to serve, what services you're providing, but it's not specific as it can be, okay? And you will see it later. I really want you to try it, and then later let me know how it works and what you discovered, because it's super helpful. So I'm not gonna read it out. You can just get the prompt, paste in the same discussion board that you're already in, and build on it. This is getting a little bit more specific. When we ask ChatGPT to create our ideal clients, if we go back, I just want to specify that. Yes, in this chat, we ask specific details to provide. For example, we ask ChatGPT to provide ideal client's background, values, expectations, and so on. You can add more, like pain. That's what we're interested in. We definitely want to know what's our ideal client's pain. What can we help them with? This is why right here is very important to come up with different types of topics that helps clients to resolve their pains. This is how your video gonna gain more popularities and use, because you're helping them to resolve their pain. So next topics, idea for topics coming from their interest and their values. It's the same idea as we just covered with pain, except we basing it based on their interest and values. So what we're creating right now is a variety of different video topics, and then you can basically change them. This is my favorite topic to share, because when we creating motivational posts, we're spreading positivity, which help to create quality connections and engaged community. It also creates loyal followers. It just, I mean, it's a marketing move in a way, but it's not the only marketing move. It's just, this is how things work, right? Like when we're helping someone to feel better, they're more interested in us, right? So here I'm just asking the prompt for 10 motivational video reels. And if you read till the end, the interesting part is that we're incorporating motivational topics with pain points. So it is very specific what we're targeting. So we want to motivate them on their pain point, right? And that is getting more specific. And again, because each of you created your own unique, ideal customer, your prompts are going to be very different from each other. This is why it is very valuable. The catchy content idea is very similar, and not very similar, but similar to the previous one about motivation. But in this one, we added a little more specific information. For example, on the very first sentence, we're asking to think outside of the box. And then later on, we're asking, make it catchier and engaging. And then later on, we're saying, now think of motivational speakers and incorporate their wisdom with the marketing approach of Zig Ziglar. Okay, you can put any person in there you want. I just thought of that person because I look for who is one of the most famous person in marketing. But it can be motivational speaker. It can be someone you admire. Like I would put Tony Robbins here. Like I really admire him. A person who motivates. So, I mean, you can put Jesus too, for example, because he is also a motivational person to me. So once you created this prompt, you're gonna get very not only creative and engaging topics for the videos. They're also formed in a way that help you to really come up with great script for the video. This is one of the best topics I got out of all that I shared with you guys. Okay, when it comes to competitors, I already created posts about that. And I also created a separate post about SEMrush. If you know your competitor's website and social media using SEMrush, you can learn a lot about them, okay? Keywords, which is a very important concept in marketing and promoting yourself. We're not going to go there. I'm not going to go into marketing, keywords, and SEMrush. It's a different topic, but this is important to know who your competitors are and what they're doing, not to copy them, but model their idea. See what works for them, what doesn't, and then maybe borrow some ideas, adjust it, customize it for you, and it will definitely help you to improve quality of your content. And the only thing I would like to specify about this prompt, as you can see in capital letters, I spelled down the city and the state. So at first, when I added this content, added this prompt, it didn't give me any response. It says, you need to search it, and here's the steps how you can do it. But I really wanted to have links that is valuable. I did the search on my own, but the links that ChatGPT provided, they were really great. Okay, I strongly suggest you to be consistent with it. It works, it provides the links. So just put your city, put the state. You can try a different city nearby to see if it's different. I actually didn't try it. Again, you can customize it. There's not a fixed prompt that it's not the only way. Okay. So next slide is about content creator guide. Is basically outline of everything I just shared with you. If you didn't take screenshot, which I doubt I would do it, but if you didn't, you can use the left side QR code, get into my Instagram and send me a message and ask to send this PDF file to you. And then you can copy and paste it into your ChatGPT chat. Just mention that you were at the training. On the right-hand side, we have a QR code that is connected to Google Form. And this Google Form basically help you to send me a video. I'm sorry. This Google Form to help you to send me an email And then if you're interested in this 2-hour online class that is free, where we're gonna work together on the video reels. This class is not for people who are like professional. For example, I worked on Adobe Premiere Pro, okay, program. This is more advanced. This one, this training will be using CapCut app. It is pre-app, but what I will be showing, it will be the version that is paid. I paid $75, I think, for it, but it's totally worth it. You don't have to do it to buy it. I'm not promoting anything, by the way, it's not an advertisement. I'm just saying that this is a very helpful program to know how to use. It's super easy. And it's going to be live. So if you have questions, feel free to ask, and we're going to go from there. 2 hours is enough for one reels. If we're going to get advanced students who are so quick at catching everything, we're going to do 2 reels. I don't know if we're going to be able to complete with 3, but if we have room for 3, we're going to do 3. So it's going to be done with you by your hand. It's going to be reels that is relatable to any niche. It's going to be customizable too. So you're going to have a lot of fun, guys. I encourage you to do it. Also, I would like to ask you, if you find it helpful, I would like to try it first, okay? I also wait until I'll share with you the super helpful resource where you can get not only topic for your reels and videos, but also different ideas on different programs and some marketing outline, marketing wisdom anyways. Then wait and try it, and then let me know on Instagram what you think. And with this feedback that you're going to share with me, I will share them with people. So it's kind of you helping me and I'm helping you with visibility. It's really helpful for both of us. And finally, I want to thank you for your time, for watching it, for coming over. I am very frugal with my time, and if I'm investing time in something, it's worth it. And I'm sure you are too. You're busy as well. So thank you, guys. Finally, let me share this last resource that I promised. And here it is. It's adstiktok.com website. And let me share the whole link here. I mean, you don't have to type the whole thing. You just start typing at tiktok.com/business and it's gonna pop out. So what this site is cool about is that you are gonna go to inspiration tab and click on top ads dashboard. I'm already here, by the way. But when you get there in this search bar, I'm typing video promotion, but you can type any topic you're interested in. If I'm selling books, I would be looking for books, selling books, different keywords, right? Or I don't know what else, like put anything you want. You're gonna get a bunch of different videos, ideas. Not only that, but also a lot of helpful tools. So let's do search again. I also want to emphasize that this search is only for last 30 days ads that were made on TikTok. You can change that. It's all like, you can play with that. So anyways, let's search it. Got new ideas now. And as you can see, you can check analytics. You can see how many likes each of these reels has. And you can check those that are very popular versus those that are not, as like this has only 5 likes. And also look at this panel. Those links are also very helpful. So let's go, let's say, into I don't know, the one that has the most like that I saw. Here you can visit the landing page. You can see different regions where this was advertised. You can see how popular that it is and how it was progressing, how long it was used, and also recommendation that is similar to these videos. It is very helpful tool, you guys. I encourage you to try it out. So one more thing I would like to add is that I'm offering guys, for you a gift for your time, for your attention, for sticking till the end, is a digital book, Social Media Ads, that I drafted based on my struggles. Okay. So I think you're gonna love it, and I think it's gonna help you. And this book, Marilyn, you can send it to them, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just wanna thank you again. Be blessed and thank you. Be blessed, and I'm wishing you good luck in your goals and journey.
Great. Thank you so much, Lana. It's wonderful. Great insights that you shared about videos and topics. And I think that was, the biggest people have challenges with, of course, is just coming up with a topic and being in front of the camera. And it's such a natural one, right?
Yeah, yeah, this is why it took me so long sometimes to make a video, but now when you have the list, you can make videos with batches and it saves so much time.
Right, right, great. So everybody will get the ebook that Lana is giving out. And then on the bottom of the video, her video, we'll have a link to her website or the course that she wants to offer you. So thank you so much, Lana. I so much
Thank you very
appreciate it.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh, a lot of information she delivered. Yeah, so I know she's great amount of tips and understanding of what you were doing and what she wants to help you with. She's a really good photographer and video person. She did all my photos for me, so, and all the graphics for the summit. So she really wanted to participate in that way. So, yeah, so there's lots of things to learn. She actually encouraged me to live stream on YouTube. I'm like, why would I do that? Okay, Marilyn, stay open, be curious. So that's why I'm live streaming as well. But yeah, so she really loves chat BTT, and I think the challenge is, like she said, there's so much information out there, how you should use it, what you can use it for, and why not use it to be more beneficial for yourself and how to deliver your message. Any comments? No? Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, again, I learned a couple things. I mean, I've taken some classes on Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I already know somebody that I'm probably gonna refer to her.
Yeah.
She clearly knows what she's doing, and there are so many companies out there struggling
Yeah.
to do it themselves,
Yeah.
and she's really good at what she does, based on my limited knowledge, because I'm not an expert in this area. But
No.
I know just enough to be dangerous, and she knows her stuff.
Well, I guess my biggest challenge is coming up with the topics to talk about, right? So it's like, okay, what do I say?
Well, interestingly, I was supposed to stream something live on YouTube myself, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So
Yeah. Well, it's really easy on Zoom. You just hit a button, live stream, pick which one you want to go, and you could do Facebook too or whatever. But I thought, okay, well, let's just try YouTube and see how that works out. Because before it used to be so much more complicated. You had to get a certain URL and you had to get this and you had to get permission. And then, like it was just like, okay, never mind.
So the combination of her session and your explanation has made me feel so much more intelligent around that topic.
Yeah. So it's just easier to do it in Zoom, take the link, put it on YouTube, and then share it.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I've been doing it, because otherwise the other traditional way was, get a link here, get a link there, get this, and then get that. And I think Zoom has also made it a little bit easier as well to live stream right in. Before you had to have permission to live stream to Facebook, even though that you know, whatever. So I don't know if they're still strict or not. I haven't done anything. And Lisa, so your partner, Lisa, Barbara Ann.
Yes. So Lisa Hillaren is one of my team members, and she and I have known each other. We were peers, and then I reported to her, and she reported to me. Then we were peers, and then I helped her in her company, and then we were friends again. And now she, in addition to her role as a health insurance training leader, she's a phenomenal trainer and coach. She has joined my company, Purpose-Filled Solutions and Evolution. So when I refer to my team, she is one of the people that I'm referring to, but she has her own company in her own right, and people will not be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool. So I don't have to introduce her. You just did it. Hey, let's hear what she has to say.
All right. Hi, it's Meredith. Hard at work and the Change Maker Summit that's often coming next week. And my guest today is Lisa Hilden, and she is going to be talking about how we have to be conscious about our emotions, right? So anyway, I'm going to let Lisa tell you more about that. Don't ask me. Okay, Lisa, go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Hillaren. I'm the lead consultant at Purpose-Filled Solutions and Evolution.
Tell me.
And first of all, again, I'd like to thank you, Marilyn, for the opportunity to present today. I'm thrilled to be here.
What's your name?
What I'm speaking on is how emotional intelligence, or EQ, is key to the journey of self-actualization. Not that we're ever fully self-actualized, it's always something we're growing and learning, but this is like the key to helping you progress along that continuum. For those of you who may have heard of the term, may be somewhat familiar with it, but not really, really familiar, I'll start with a brief definition and a short overview of the 4 aspects of it. Oxford Languages defines EQ as the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. In other words, it's about the ability to demonstrate emotional and behavioral regulation. I do not mean holding back. I don't mean tamping down your emotion. I mean being situationally aware and responding in a way that drives an outcome that's in your best, it's for the best outcome for you. So instead of being unaware and just behaving in a way that just drives an outcome you don't want, this is where you're going to be able to drive an outcome that you want, that's going to move you along that continuum of self-actualization. All right, so the 4 aspects of emotional intelligence are, and I'll start with the very first, and that is self-awareness. And this is the ability to step back from yourself, literally kind of step back outside of yourself and reflect upon your beliefs and behaviors. And all of these come about from your upbringing, your gender identification, your religion, your culture, many, many factors. All of these shape who we are, what we believe. Different regions believe different things, different customs, different religions. Understanding that will help you turn a light bulb on over your head of, oh my gosh, this is why I behave the way I behave. And by doing that, you can then change your behaviors and your beliefs. It gives you, it empowers you, it puts the power back in your own hands to determine what you believe, and it unleashes your potential exponentially. I cannot tell you how much it will unleash your potential. You'll be just astounded. So again, the things to consider, one of them I didn't mention is your personality style. So what's a personality style? You may have heard of DISC, or you may have heard of Wilson Learning. These personality style is your innate preference. My innate preference is to be a person who makes decisions based on gut instinct. I'm more of an advocate type of personality. or a teacher or those type of an influencer, Pied Piper personality. Other personalities may be a driver. That's a person who feels they bring the most value to the world by getting things done. My husband is a driver. If I say, I need a doghouse, he's going to go out and build me a doghouse for our dogs. And look, honey, here's my value to the world. I made you that doghouse. Other people are analytical. They make business decisions on facts and figures, and they help build architectural designs, and they build bridges. They build bridges between things, whereas someone who's a more amiable personality is a people ambassador and builds bridges between people. We all have all aspects of these personality styles, but we always have a clear preference. So that is kind of what the core of our being is. And then you have all this other learned behaviors and beliefs. The thing is, we can step back from them and we can choose to change them. For example, when I was a child, I was very badly bullied. Back then, obesity was not the epidemic that it is today. And I was very much bullied as being a person of size. So that really drove my feelings of self-worth down for many, many years. And it made me less confident to get in any kind of conflictual situations because my brain went to a place of feeling like it was being bullied. Once I learned self-awareness, I learned that that was a survival tactic, but it was not serving me well at all. And so I had to learn, and I'll talk a little bit more later about ways you can reset your belief systems, how you can train, and you can literally change your neural pathways in your brain. Okay? So what self-awareness does, again, is it lets you step back, look at yourself, and reflect on your beliefs and how they drive your behaviors, and then kind of determine, how are they serving you? Are they helping you? Are they hindering you? What can you do different to drive? What are your goals? And if I change this behavior, this is going to get me over here. Once you learn self-awareness, and at that point, you're kind of consciously not confident, and it's not a comfortable place to be in, but it's such a like a light bulb moment to feel like you understand what drives you and that you are really in the driver's seat of your life. So the next stage is self-management. Now this is the secret sauce of EQ. You need all the ingredients, but this is what transforms everything. I mean, everything. Once you become self-aware, you can choose your responses and behaviors. And by doing this, by choosing to do a different behavior, you're causing a ripple. So we all grow up in relationships. We all have relationships. I'm married, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But in these relationships, a lot of times we're all about changing the other person. You have to change your own behavior. But by changing your own behavior, then they are forced to respond differently to you than they did before. So, for example, my husband and I, we got married very young. I was 20, he was 23. I will tell you unequivocally, if I had not learned emotional intelligence, we would not be married today. Instead, we've been married 40 years and we're very happy. And I credit it all to emotional intelligence. And it was by me starting by changing my behavior and saying things like, I'm sorry, I not apologizing when it wasn't my fault, but when it was, taking accountability, saying I was wrong and fixing it. And a couple years later, all of a sudden, one day, the person that would never take accountability, who I'm married to, said, you know what? I was wrong and I'm sorry. He was mirroring the learned behavior that I had taught myself. And now we routinely tell each other we're sorry when we're wrong. We also practice a lot of gratitude. Like when I cook dinner, he tells me thank you for dinner. If he takes out the garbage, I tell him thank you for taking out the garbage. Very simple things, but it builds rapport and respect and a feeling of you respect the person, you love that person, and you're grateful that they're in your life, even for the most mundane things that they do. So by being self-managed, you're not only changing your behavior and progressing yourself towards your journey of self-actualization, but you're actually making a better place in the world. You're making it a better place for other people because they will, believe it or not, follow your lead. Okay. For example, I gave you one about my husband. Another one is for how you choose to run your own day. Say you're going to work and you get cut off in traffic. Most people get very upset. They take it very personally. Then they go stomping into work and they work the whole day and they're mad. And then at the end of the day, they say they're mad because someone cut them off in traffic. But meanwhile, you've ruined your own day. You've probably ruined everybody else's day. What if instead you got cut off in traffic and you stopped and said to yourself, maybe that person's on the way to the hospital where their wife is going to deliver a baby. It resets how you think. You stop thinking that that person is deliberately cutting you off. And then you can choose to say, you know what? I'm just going to let that go. It's not worth ruining my day over. And by doing so, by catching yourself in that moment, you can have a great day instead of a really crappy day. Okay. So to me, this is that secret sauce. It's like I am truly in command of my destiny. Yes, there are things that are outside of our command. People get sick, things happen, accidents happen. But for the percentage of control that we truly have in our lives, this puts you in the driver's seat for it. The next aspect is social awareness. And this is very similar to self-awareness. This is where you are able to step back from other people and truly objectively view them as they are. Not only do you have belief systems and different personality styles, you can see that other people too. Not everybody is built the same way. We all think, hey, we think the same way. We have the same goals, and that's not the case. Everybody brings something different to the table, and that's what makes diversity so great and unique, because if you harness that synergy, you get great things out of it. And social awareness allows you to do that. If I understand what you bring to the table, I can show you respect by leveraging that, by asking you questions, by showing you curiosity about your differences and putting them, hey, this could help me do X. So by learning social awareness, you're being able to see why people are coming to the table the way they are. You're also able to disconnect your own hot buttons. Once I knew how my husband came to the table, how he showed up every day, he's a driver, he would do things, and a driver can come across, guess what? Sometimes as a bully. And so for me, when I was younger in our marriage, I didn't really know how to deal with that. But later in marriage, I realized how that was just the way he came across. And I was able to step back from that and not shirk away from that and tamp down my emotions, and actually talk to him and say, when this happens, I feel this. And over time, the times I felt he was pressing my hot buttons, I was able to stop, assess, and say, he's just being a driver. It's not something he's personally trying to make me feel bad about. And you're able to disconnect your hot buttons in the moment so that you can continue to respond in a good way. Okay, so that one's huge as well. And that's what social management is. Social management is respecting people where they come from, responding in a way that resonates with them. And that's also another thing. That's what drove my career. I was in my career, I did not have my bachelor's degree or master's degree until I was in my 50s. I just got my master's at 60. But because of emotional intelligence and being able to resonate with people in a way that, worked for them, I knew certain people. I had a boss who was very logical. There was no way I tried to convince him to go along with one of my business decisions just based on gut instinct. I would prepare facts and figures and lay it out for him. And that was what would get him to go along with it. And he was the one that promoted me up through to senior management at a time I did not have a degree. I also didn't have a degree when I was younger because I felt very lack of worth or lack of confidence. Emotional intelligence gave me huge boost in confidence and belief in myself and liking myself, which empowered me to go back to school and get those degrees and believe that I could do it. Many people say there's a fifth element, empathy. To me, empathy weaves all through 4 elements. And you have to have as much empathy, not sympathy or self-pity, empathy for yourself as you show to others. This is crucial. And one of the things that I want to do is talk to you in just a minute about things that you can do to show yourself empathy. But before I do, I'd like to share just a little bit we had before about why I'm so passionate about it, is that learning it and adopting it completely changed my life. Again, I would not be married today. I would not have my degrees, any of that stuff. What makes me even more passionate about it is that I like to help people jumpstart their journey. I spent a lot of time when I first started learning in my 30s, there was mostly academic information about it. So you had a lot of Daniel Goleman, who's the father of it. Brilliant, brilliant. When you read the books, it's very high academically. And I had to go and read all these academic or 50,000 foot level books. And I had to sit back and synthesize them down to 5,000 feet for myself and put these puzzle pieces together. And it took me a lot longer to get where I wanted to be than I felt I would like to be able to shorten the window of the educational piece for people and then get them right into practice and things that will show them real results in a short time. So that's where my passion derives from, because I saw what a difference it made in my life, what it can do for other people. And so what I wanted to kind of share today was a few things too of how to jumpstart doing that for yourself. All right, so my actionable tip of what you can do is practice positivity. Practice positivity. This is a self-management skill. And what I mean by that is practice treating yourself with care and empathy. How do you do that? Number one, first and foremost, is stop your negative self-talk. If you are a person that engages in negative self-talk, step back from yourself and reflect. How is that doing for your sense of self-worth? What's it doing for you? How is it making you feel about yourself? I was going to one of my college classes, I had an exam, and I was driving there, and I took a wrong turn that I was just had my mind in another place, and suddenly realized I'm on the wrong road and lost 15 minutes. And I'm a person that always wants to be on time. And immediately I started to go, oh, what a stupid, stupid thing to do. And then I caught myself and said, no, we're not going to talk bad. You made a mistake. You planned for plenty of time. Give yourself grace so that you're not getting there and also wound up that you fail your exam. And I caught myself. So if you catch yourself, maybe you had a parent or someone that raised you, and unfortunately they said you were a brat, or you said they called you something that was not a nicest term, and so you grew up believing it because it was a parent or someone that you looked up to and respected, and that helped shape your belief. You can look back and say, I'm not. I'm an amazing person. There's only one of me in the world. There only ever be one of me in the world. And I am worthy just from the fact I draw breath on this planet. And I have so many gifts and so many things to bring to the world. And over time, you can teach yourself to believe that by being kind and empathetic. And when you catch yourself saying negative self-talk, catch yourself and reset that mindset. So practice positivity. Also by acknowledging, which is not a comfortable place to be in, my flaws. That's a big thing as well. And saying, how do I learn from them? Which ones do I want to get better at? And which can I accept? One for me is math. I do not like math. I'm very good at math in terms of my finances, but in terms of calculus and the other stuff, don't know it, don't care because it's not impacting me. But when I was younger, growing up, feeling that I wasn't good at those things because I had a father who was very logical was something that made me feel bad about myself. Now I'm like, okay, you don't feel bad about it, but is it making a difference in your life? No. So who cares? And teaching yourself where to let go of beliefs or things that you feel you should be good at. But even if you were, it wouldn't make any difference. And what's important, really important to you in your life. There's a thing that by the age of 15, if no one tells you, you're going to choose whether you see the world through the eyes of a victor or the eyes of a victim. And a victor is one who sees obstacles as stepping stones, or a victim sees them as stumbling blocks. So when you find you're doing that, or sending accountability, blaming the world for stuff, choose to step back and say, do I want to be a victor or do I want to be a victim? That's a huge way to practice positivity. And being a victor does not mean you're being, happy all the time. You have to be a realist at times, but it will get you to a place of being more positive and having a more positive outlook on life. Okay. To me, in wrapping up this being positive, practicing positivity means being your own best advocate. I am my own best advocate. The next tool I would share with you is assume best intent. So when someone disagrees with me or angrily approaches me, assuming best intent on their part, it keeps me from thinking they're deliberately trying to push my hot buttons. So if I assume that they're coming to me and they're trying to get to a goal, they're not trying to stomp me down, helps me disengage those hot buttons. It also empowers me to respond with curiosity and empathy rather than defensiveness. I'm able to step back from the situation, take things less personally, which helps diffuse my emotion. Doing so helps me keep in mind that just because we have differing beliefs doesn't make me wrong and you right, or vice versa. It just means we're different and we need to respect that and find ways to respectfully collaborate. So basically, think about a cloud. You may be standing here and the way you look at it, it looks like a footprint. I may be standing here and the way I look at it, it looks like an exclamation point. Neither is right and neither is wrong. We're just different. And so when you think of that coming into it and assume best intent, they may come and they may be rough and whatever, but I assume they're trying to get something done. They're not out to deliberately hurt me. I can say, hey, what's going on? Help me understand what's happening here. That keeps me from being defensive. It brings down their emotion. Even saying, wow, something's really upsetting you. Tell me about it. And I find that diffuses it and we're able to collaborate and get to a empowering place for both of us. The third one I would share with you is respond, don't react. And this was huge for me. I was very, very reactionary. That's part of my personality style. Anything happened, I'd catastrophize it. So what I did is I went around everywhere I could, on the dash of my car, on my window in the bathroom, my mirror in the bathroom, all different places. I taped a little thing, almost like a fortune cookie thing that said, respond, don't react, respond, don't react. So it was vital for me. I did this because it was vital for me to circumvent that reactionary, to be able to catch myself and have triggers to catch myself to respond. So for me, what respond, don't react is, it means in any given situation or event, instead of immediately having reaction, you choose to step back from the situation, reflect on it, and say, how do I want this to end? And then behave accordingly. What do I want to come of this? If I react this way, is this going to blow up my relationship and cause a lot of hard feelings? So respond, don't react gives you the ability to step back, reflect, choose the right option for you to move yourself where you want to be. Okay. So again, that would be how I respond to the car that cuts me off. I'm going to respond and say, hey, I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Or the same when I caught myself with negative self-talk, I was going to respond in a way that was empathetic to myself instead of berating myself. And I was able to get to the test in a sentence. The last one is event plus response equals outcome. So many of us blame the events in our life for making us angry or making us cry or making us hurt. Event plus response equals outcome reminds us that we have a say in things. We always have a say in things. And this saying comes courtesy of Jack Canfield of Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And what it means is, okay, so this happened. How am I going to choose to respond to it? And that's going to equal my outcome. This is crucial because how am I going to get myself to be where I want to be self-actualized? That's how I'm going to respond. I am going to make the right choice when something happens, even though I might feel initially defensive. I'm going to stop, reflect, and then choose a response that drives an outcome in the direction, if it doesn't exactly get to the outcome, but drives it in the right direction. So those are 4 tips on this one. What I would say too is, this doesn't mean tamp down your emotion. We are emotional beings. We always have emotional responses. What it means is they can be separate responses. One can be, someone comes to me, something happens, I respond in a way that drives an outcome, but I may still be upset about it or may feel a way that I need to honor my emotions, always honor them. But I may just go in my bedroom and just sit there and just make a face for a while or feel a certain way. Or at work, I've been known to go in the ladies' room and just sit in the stall and close the door so I don't go off. So honor those emotions. It doesn't mean the emotions are going away. Okay. So again, these are the key tools that help me progress through emotional intelligence. These are what I took and I personally boiled down from all of that academia and those points, and I found gave me the greatest leverage and really jump-started my learning. So I hope that you found them helpful. And I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach me either at Purposeful, the website for Purposeful Solutions and Evolutions, or through Lisa Hillerin, LLC @gmail.com. I thank you so much for this opportunity to be here again today. And thank you, Mary Lynn.
For sure. Thank you. And Lisa's contact information will be below this video. So if she said it too fast, she'll be able to get it. Anyway, thank you so much, Lisa, for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a
Bye-bye.
wonderful day. Okay.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I guess I can kick that one off because obviously I'm biased. And
She did a great presentation.
yeah,
Yeah, kind of thing. So I just realized I have her last name spelled wrong, so I'll have to go in there and edit that. But I don't know what had come up with that name. I don't know. I think spell check jumps in and says, your name is this, it can't be that. That's wrong.
yeah. Spell check just loves to play games like that.
Yeah, but I will change that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I really like what she said, especially about the traffic thing. I'm just, I get so mad at people because to me, most of the people, they do it because they think they're ahead of the game.
Mm.
So, anyway, but that's always my thing, just to remember. Let them go, and they'd be the first ones to cut you off, and they'd be the last ones to let you in.
Yes.
So anyway, but that's where I have to learn to just respond and not react. But I don't really let it ruin my day, but it's just like in the moment of, but yeah, that was a good one for me anyway.
Awesome.
Oh, right. So yeah, so that was a good presentation. I enjoyed that. Yeah. And you have any comments?
No, I mean, she nailed it. She was I was reporting to her during one of the pivotal moments that I talked about in terms of
Right.
why we lead with civility. And I talked about her as the one person who stood by me.
Yeah.
Because she felt like, no matter what, she was going to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And,
She was willing to do the right thing.
right. No matter what the costs were.
Right.
And I think everybody now, the world that watches this gets to see a side of her that not as many people that need to hear what she has to say get to see.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it was a good thing. I
Yeah.
think Lana just popped in. I don't know if she's still here or not. Are you here,
Yeah.
Lana?
Let me see her.
Yeah, you see her?
I do. I see her box.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I see she's there, and she's just muted and off camera.
Oh, okay.
She may have been timing it to pop in when her segment was going to air.
Yeah.
But now that she's joining us, she can
Okay.
speak with
I was
herself.
able to unmute. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, my lunch is over, so I cannot stay with you longer, but so happy to actually talk to you live.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we talk to each other a lot anyway. Yeah, you're
Thank
busy.
you for doing it. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I was just telling Barbara, you encouraged me to go live on YouTube, and I said, what the hell would I do that for? Doing it. But anyway, it's interesting. Yeah. It's just staying
Yeah.
open to ideas. Yeah. We enjoyed your presentation, so it was good. But
Thank you,
everybody
thank you.
else can see it later, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right, I have to run, but have a
Okay.
wonderful day. Enjoy the presentation. I can't wait to see it.
Okay, great. Okay, you have a great day.
You too, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, she works full time at a government job.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the last speaker, no, well, that's just me giving my offer, but is Pamela. Pamela is, I think, a girl you referred me to, right, Barbara?
I did.
Yeah. And so she's just really going to talk about her daughter and the, the way she is trying to keep her memory alive. So, and then her company, Shane House Group. So I couldn't find her website, but I'm sure she must have one.
Yeah, it's under reconstruction, but there's stuff from her on YouTube that's out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just put her LinkedIn thing. So anyway, let's hear what she has to say.
Hello, everybody. It's Marilyn Harris here, Hard at Work, and the summit, which is really about change makers. And I really wanted to hear Pamela share her story because she is a change maker. She is a social entrepreneur, and she has a really good story. And I really wanted her to share it. So, Pamela, welcome. And
Thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate you having me come on to this exciting conference. It sounds really great.
yeah, it'll be fun. So, Pamela, tell us a little bit about how you got started in your nonprofit and what you were doing before or after, before that.
Well, I have two businesses. One is a charity, which really isn't a business because it's a public foundation. Let's backtrack for a minute. I am from Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
So a lot of the things that I may say may not necessarily relate
Mhm.
to people who are in the States. I started 35 years ago. I'm just tired of aging myself, there's no doubt about that. In the field of professional fundraising, literally starting professional fundraising in Canada,
Mhm.
where if you have expertise, pay us and we will teach you how to do it.
Right.
And so for over 20 years, I was I held various major positions, CEO of foundations and hospital foundations and all of that, raising close to about $40 million by the time I finished that part of it.
Right.
And I went into, and by the way, I've always worked for myself. They brought me in to help raise money and to teach them, and then I would go.
Mhm.
And then I would, I say that I get along with my boss really well. Why I work for myself. I've
Yeah.
had arguments, we get along famously.
Right.
So what happens is that after or during the time that I was raising money for the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. They were really having tremendous difficulties and they couldn't make payroll. So they brought me in and I raised a significant amount of money in a very small period of time. But at that time, my daughter, Allie, was diagnosed with stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, I'm so
She was
sorry.
diagnosed, thank you. She was diagnosed at the age of 19 and she fought the battle for over 7 years.
Wow.
And unfortunately, we lost her in July of 2006. And she was 26 years of, of course, she's my daughter. We're all going to talk about our daughter like this, we would hope.
Yeah.
Is the most remarkable person who made such an impact in everybody whose ever lives she touched. Everybody knew her and nobody forgot her.
Mhm. That's
And when she was ill, at that time, like in Canada,
Mhm.
let's say in Toronto,
Right.
they're one of the top sick kids hospitals, sick children's hospital in the world. It's called the
Mhm.
Hospital for Sick Children, and it's nicknamed Sick Kids Hospital. And you will go in and get cancer treatment, but only up to the age of 18.
Mm.
Then they will age you out and put you
Right.
into all the other major hospitals that are handling from that age 18 all the way up to 100, whatever.
Right.
And, when you are a young adult, and we're talking about an 18 to 35-year-old, that area, maybe 16 to 40, we didn't give, we figured that was the chunk that we were looking at. There were no organizations at all that were supporting that age group.
Wow.
When you were in the sick kids hospital, there were many, many different opportunities for these kids.
Mhm.
But once you were aged out into this, there was nothing.
Right.
And Allie was looking for some support. She didn't want, she said to me, Mom, I don't want to sit and talk to you about how I feel.
Right.
I want to talk to somebody who understands how I feel because they're going through it.
Right.
And at that time, there was nothing there.
Mhm.
So we started her charity, which is called Allie's Journey.
Mhm.
And we didn't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
We just picked a name and it stuck. And she launched it on June 1st, 2006, and she passed away July 12th, 2006.
Wow.
She gave me and another group of people, the push to make sure that this is a viable charity that helps these people.
Mhm.
Now, how can we do that in the Canadian world, in the Canadian healthcare system? And I'm sure it's like this in the
Yeah.
States also. Where I got an itchy nose. I never have an itchy nose. Only when I'm on a podcast where I have an itchy nose. That there is the Privacy Act.
Mhm.
So we can't work one-on-one with these patients because there's a Privacy Act. We don't know who they are.
Right.
So how can we, awful of me, shouldn't ever have me on a podcast.
You're doing great. Don't worry about it. It's human.
I got a personality. You either laugh with me or sometimes you cry. So anyway, we figured out a way that we could actually get help directly to these people. And what we did, well, our first initiative was to raise money for another organization that was just building a center where these young kids could go, and we furnished it, computers, all this type of thing. And we did that. That was about $85,000 that we gave to that organization. And then we realized, what can we do that we could actually get our hands on this?
Right.
And what we've done is we've developed a initiative called the Comfort Bags.
Right.
And every time that a young adult, and we're only right now in the province of Ontario,
Right.
what we do is that there is one hospital, Princess Margaret Hospital, that all of these young adults throughout the province are funneled there. And then they're evaluated, and then if they need, treatment immediately or whatever, they're either sent back to their own hometown,
Right.
or their home city, or they are admitted. So what we do is they are the hands-on people for us to be able to give these bags to. And in the bags are all various items that we know they need, but that's part of their treatment yet, so they don't know they need it.
Right.
So this way, we find that a lot of these young adults, if the status, when you have cancer, you're staged
Right.
A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm.
And if the status is at the stage 4 or something like that, they are admitted immediately. But when you go to this appointment, you don't go with clothes and this and that. You don't go with anything because you figure you're going to go home.
Right.
You
Right.
don't realize you're going to be put immediately into the hospital for treatment immediately.
Right.
So in our bags, we have socks, we have a hat because they're losing their hair.
Right.
Cold, when you have chemo, you've got poison going through your system, you're cold, you're hot, you're freezing. We have a blanket, to make sure that it's even I've got a blanket on me right now. It's, so that they don't have to deal with that awful hospital blanket, scratchy and yucky. And we have a journal, and we have a water bottle, we have lotion, we have a toothbrush and toothpaste. And we even have an adult coloring book with coloring pencils. We just have things just to be doing whatever
Yeah. Try to be normal as much as possible.
as possible. Because when you're in this age group, my daughter wrote, I was speaking to somebody today that my daughter wrote an article, which was interesting. And it said, too young for mortgage, but not for cancer.
Wow. Right.
And it was like, whoa, I think you can see it on our website.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think it's there. And it was so staggering. Because when you're in your mid-20s, you're just starting life. You're either finishing university or you're still in university, and you don't know which end is up, and all of a sudden you're stuck, you're like this. And not every young adult had the opportunity to have a mother like I was, who literally stopped work completely. And my work was taking care of my daughter.
Right.
For 7 years, I took care of my daughter. And not a lot of people have that opportunity.
Yeah.
They're working, they can't, they're on their own. All of this.
Right.
And so it was really mind-boggling to see. And I had to take Allie to Florida for treatment because she needed experimental treatment. Now, I had to have a Visa card that had a $30,000 or $40,000 limit because each treatment cost $15,000, $20,000.
Wow.
If she needed blood work done, it was $2,000. If she needed it, it was cheaper for us to take a flight back home and have a CT scan.
Right.
And fly back with it, with the results, than to have it in Florida because that was $10,000. So it was just really mind-boggling. In Canada, you know, most Canadian, most people know that Canada has a socialized medicine. But socialized medicine, you still had to pay money. You still had to
Right,
pay
right.
up and above whatever they were paying.
Right.
Complaining, it's a lovely system to have. No complaints for it, but it wasn't just, oh yay, have everything she wants.
Right.
So getting back to this charity, we have been in existence for 17 years now. We have produced at least, I'd say 1,200, 1,500 bags. And we've had great, we try to get testimony, but you know, we ask them to support by putting a testimony on our website. They've got other things on their plate right now. They think about it. So we try to get as much as we can. But we do know from the hospitals that we are the best thing that happens to them. And that we need to keep on doing this. We have just now started supporting a mindfulness art therapy program.
Okay.
Which is also very, very interesting. So, you know, when you come from the mindset that I did when it came to raising money for other organizations for years and years, and now being the president of this organization and trying to actually raise money, it's not as easy.
Right. Yeah, because it's very personal.
It's very personal.
Right.
Fundraising is not easy. If anybody says that it's easy to raise money, especially in this environment now, whether it's Canada, anywhere, we're all struggling, you know, people are struggling.
Right.
But this is something that it's easy to make a donation. It's $25. You can go, you know.
Yeah.
And for $25, you can purchase a bag and we can make sure that it's to this doll.
Right.
And so, you know, we're really, really proud of what we do. I know that Ali is smiling up there.
Yeah.
He's probably figuring, you know, you should be doing more. My daughter was, you know, what the hell, what's wrong with you? You're not, you know, how come you're not?
I'm just your mom.
You know, I in every state.
Yeah.
Now my daughter would have those expectations. But the issue of marketing and, you know, because that's your focus as far as I'm concerned with what you're doing with this conference, is trying to show people the issues. It doesn't matter whether you're a nonprofit or charity, a private foundation or anything like that. There are very specific rules for private foundations. We are public foundations, so we can go out onto social media. We can, you know, we've got rules as long as we abide by them. But even trying to get money from corporations now is difficult because corporations focus on a certain target market.
Right.
And let's say a bank, Citibank, will focus on, we're only going to support children in healthcare.
Right.
Or the indigenous, or this or that. So on one hand, that's very tough for charities because if you don't fit into all of these focus corporate giving programs, then you're stuck. And in Canada, the government doesn't support these charities. We don't get any government funding of any. It's the private funding. So it's a slug, but it's like that if you've got any kind of business. I have my paid work is field of accessibility, diversity, inclusion, and equity training and policy development. And I'm going to take a drink for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know why my nose is itchy.
You're supposed to be kissing a pool.
Got it. That's exactly it. The same thing. That's very true.
Can you tell me if you have a wait list of kids waiting for your comfort bag?
We don't know that.
Oh, you don't know that.
And all the we make sure that there is no waiting list.
Right. Okay.
We make sure that through our sponsors, our corporate sponsorship, that we've got enough bags all ready to go. So if the hospital calls us and says we need 50 bags, we've got a couple, my son is the treasurer, and we've got a
Mhm.
few other people on the board. And we make sure that these bags are all ready, that all we have to do is just drop them off.
Right, right.
So that is really something that is paramount to us, that no person ever has to, that we at any time will say, I'm sorry, but we don't have a bag.
Right, right.
Because then we're not doing our job.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the mindful training that you are now going to be jumping in and
I
providing.
wish I would know about that. It's, you know, we're just sponsoring it. We're not doing
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And it's through the Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation.
Mhm.
No, I'm wrong. It's through the adolescent young adult organization that we work with. It's called
Okay.
AYA.
Okay.
And they are the ones who, you know, we've developed a separate bag for them, which is
Mhm.
great. They can come and take their product and go home with it and everything. And, you know, one day they're painting, another day they're doing pottery. We just are the people who said, here's money.
Yeah.
And it's a one-off this year. We're hoping to be able to, you know, we're hoping to be able to fund it for as long
Right.
as we can, or as long as they have it.
Right, right.
But it gets back to, how can we help these people for a few minutes forget that they're going through what they're going through?
Right. Right.
That is really something that is paramount in the work that we do.
Mhm.
My daughter was kind but tough,
Mhm.
and knew exactly what needed to be addressed, because she was a pioneer for this.
Right.
Nobody, you didn't hear, like, what you hear now is major organizations that will form, that will be related to a disease.
Right.
Okay, so, okay, here's your young adult program under breast cancer, or testicular cancer, or colorectal cancer. We, as Ali's Journey, we support whether you're a male, whether you're a she, he, you know,
Right.
she, her, he, him, they, it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
We don't say, okay, you know, you don't have this disease, you have that disease, you're not going to support you.
Right. Right.
All we know is, if you're in this age group and you have cancer, and cancer sucks, I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
They said I heard people actually saying to my daughter Ali, because she had Hodgkin's lymphoma, not, which was the good kind, because there was a better cure, you know, better remission rate.
Right.
You know, the word good and the word cancer just
Don't go together. Together.
because there is no good cancer.
Yeah. Cancer is
And-
cancer.
You know, it
Yeah.
stops your whole world.
Mhm.
And it was like, when I got that phone call, and she was 19, so rightfully the doctor shouldn't have told me, he should have told her first.
Right.
Our family doctor is very close, and a very incredibly close friend. So he told me, and she would have wanted me to know anyway, and I
Mhm.
had to tell her. And it's like, you go, you're never gonna hear those words.
Yeah.
Why me?
Yeah.
Why not me? You know, being in a membership of losing a child is a place that you never want to be in.
Right.
It is the worst of the worst. You can't even imagine how horrific it is.
Mhm.
And it doesn't get any better, and it doesn't ease up at all. And it's been 17 years. And
Right.
this is no better. And I still, I still cry just like this, and I
Yeah.
try to, and when I think of something, but I know that what we're doing with, in the beginning, when I first started in the fashion world, I had a fashion brand that was named Ali Style.
Right.
And what
Tell me
happened to
more about that. Tell me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not producing at this particular time. We're thinking about it,
Yeah.
but we're not. But we were the first ever to produce a size diverse, meaning from extra small all the way up to 3X.
Yeah.
Fashion brand that was sustainable, and size diverse and made in Canada. Nobody had ever done that before.
Mhm.
We were the first ever to do a runway show. We're still on YouTube. So if you
Right.
want to look up, it's Alley Style, ALLISTYLE.
Mhm.
We're still on YouTube, and you know what, I was looking at it today, showing it to somebody, and it's pretty interesting. It was in 2012, and if you took a look at it now, you wouldn't, if there was no date,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know that it wasn't yesterday with the kind of clothes that we did. But when I stopped manufacturing, because the price points were insane to do
Right.
that, I started my division, which is training and consulting, which is the accessibility and the work that I do then.
Right.
So I have worked in marketing for years,
Mhm.
changed exponentially with social media.
Right.
And, you know, I'm taking a couple new courses now, a pseudo MBA, and I'm going through a marketing program, and I'm going, crap, has it changed since?
Yeah,
It's all
exactly.
teach it. It's like, my goodness, what's a KPI? What are these
Yeah.
things? And it's, you know, it's just cost per goods sold and all of this, but you
Right.
can't, if you don't have a very strong marketing plan in place,
Mhm.
that then you've got to really take 2 steps back and not produce until you've done that.
Right. Right.
There are so many issues in building a fashion brand that schools don't teach.
Mm. Yeah.
They don't teach, you know, do not use your own money. I used my own money because my heartstrings were connected to my purse strings.
Right.
And I used it. And then I ended up with a huge loss at times because,
Mhm.
which is great now, you know, I don't have
Yeah.
a tax on some things because I've got this loss.
Yeah.
There's a thing to look at it, but I don't think that's such a good way of looking at it. It's okay. I'm
Yeah.
happy to.
Yeah.
Tax if but, and I will pay tax if I have to. I guess we just, you know, this,
Delay it. Just delay it.
but, you know, truth is that you've got to have a very strong marketing plan in place, no matter what business you're running, whether it's a charity, whether it's a social enterprise, whether it's a for-profit.
Mhm.
And if you don't know anything about marketing, there are numerous courses that you can take that
Mhm.
are there. You can even take courses that are free through your bank, through, you know, I don't know what the areas are in the States, but there are thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
courses. You have to understand the areas of marketing, and you have to be really clear on it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you don't have a good social media plan in place, then you're also going to fall flat on your face.
Right. Right.
Because the first thing that people are looking at is, you know, Facebook. I'm not on Facebook anymore because I couldn't stand it.
I'm so proud of you.
You know, couldn't stand it, but I'm on Instagram and I'm on, you know, and LinkedIn. And I used to do Twitter, but there's the odd time that I go on to Twitter. But I know where my focus needs to be.
Right.
And that's where I market, and that's where I take most of my energy in marketing is to, when I, you know, I get a lot of my business from LinkedIn,
Right.
because if you look at my LinkedIn, my name, Pamela Shanehouse, you'll see, you know, I'm renowned, I'm an award winner, and, you know, I'm certified in many organizations. So you would go to somebody like me.
Right. Right.
In the beginning.
Right.
But it's, you know, I love what I do, and I
Mhm.
love, which is a really good thing. Gotta love
Right.
what you guys, you know,
Absolutely.
you have the stepping stone, but if you, you don't get, when you're getting older and you don't love what you do, rethink it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Absolutely.
had 3 different, you know, well, you know what? I guess most of the work that I've done has kind of been linked together.
Right.
Say I've had 3 different industries, but not really, as I'm thinking about it, because the fundraising is doing what I'm doing here with Allie's Journey, and the fashion is what I'm doing with, you know, with the diversity and everything like that.
Right. Yeah.
It links in, but they say that people go through 5 different industries during their lifetime.
Right. Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
they can, and I think, and to me, the most important thing is to be passionate about what you do and don't overextend yourself, and make sure that you try not to use your own money. Do not use your own money
Yeah,
you know, in building a business.
right.
It, you know, lots of times you do, and if you want
Yeah.
to have a little bit of a nest egg there, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, it
Well,
can.
thank you for sharing your lessons learned and your journey, and your journey as well as your daughter's journey, because they're all tied together. And because of that, I think so many people will get what you're doing and how they can reach out to you if they need help. And you know, like I said, below your video, we'll show the link to your website if they want to donate to
That'd
you.
be great. We would
You
love
know,
that.
Yeah,
And it's very simple to donate to us. It's called a donate button right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
push it. You
Yeah.
know, if one lesson, I'm just finishing a book now, and if this is driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Can you just get rid of my whole face as I'm sitting there? Just the voice as I'm sitting there with my itchy nose. Can't believe I've been scratching. My daughter would be going down, going, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, that's
You know,
all part of being human. And
It is.
you know, and back then, scratching your face, and okay, it's not probably a good idea, but sometimes you just have to. And
You just have
So,
to be.
yeah,
And you know, if there's one lesson that I'd love to leave for your viewers, is that things change in a minute, in a second.
mhm,
You have to turn around and you have to really like hug your kids.
mhm.
Don't sit at a dinner table or a lunch with them. I actually was at a restaurant once, and all I'm doing is seeing this daughter with her, you know,
Yeah.
the phone, and the mother with the phone.
Yeah.
Not talking to each other at all. The
Right.
food comes. Same thing.
Yeah.
And I actually stopped because I've got some chutzpah, which
Yeah.
sometimes people would wish I didn't have, but I
Yeah.
do.
Mhm.
And I actually stopped them and I said, you know what? I know that this is really out of my place, but I'd give anything. I lost my daughter and I would give anything to be able to hug her or touch her or speak to her or look at her.
Mhm.
You know, I find that the word loss is really not the right word, because my daughter isn't lost. I know where she is. She's in the
Yeah.
cemetery up there. She isn't lost. And I try really hard not to use that word because I think it's not the right word. And that's part of what my book is going to be saying. But you gotta love life and you've got to appreciate your children.
Right.
And you know, just spend time with them. Realize that things can change in a second.
Second.
It's a phone call.
Right.
All it is. It's a phone call. The child walks out the door and something happens and you don't see them again because they've been hit by, you know, it's
Yeah.
just things happening. I'm not trying to be morose or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
got it.
You just have to really appreciate life. I do everything in testimony to my daughter. I do it. I love what I'm doing, but I do it in testimony to my daughter.
Right.
And I know that she would be very proud.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you
Sure
for
she would be. Yeah. Well, thank you so much
I
for
appreciate that.
joining us. And you know, and I'm sure that many people would resonate with what you had to say and think about what you have to say and how can they themselves change what they're doing so that they have a better loving life and they don't lose children and they're always in touch with their children at some aspects, you know, this is
Not
an
all, but
important message.
It's
Yeah.
just being in touch, not sitting with a phone when you've got that opportunity to.
Right.
Listen. I have 2 grandchildren that are the love of my life. I have 2 sons
Mhm.
and I have 2 magnificent grandchildren, and they have their partner, you know, my son,
Yeah.
their daughter-in-laws. And that is what life is. When you go, this is the last thing I'm gonna say to you, to everybody, is that the last thing when you die, okay?
Mhm.
And go and they take a look at your tombstone. It does not say that you were a CEO or you died for your job or anything else. It says that you were a mother, a father, a sister,
Mm-hmm.
a friend. It doesn't say that you were a CEO,
Mhm.
a founder, or you were a president.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so just keep on putting yourselves back to what's important in life. And the most important things in life are health and
Mhm.
family.
Right. Absolutely.
Without your health, as you can see, we really thought she was going to make it. We really thought she went up and down and up and down. She didn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, just enjoy health and enjoy life.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Pamela. So appreciated. Thank you. And like I said earlier, there'll be a link below the video where you can donate to Allie's journey. And then also reach out to Pamela if you'd like to work with her. So thank you so much again, Pamela. And you have yourself a wonderful day. We'll talk.
I hope that your conference is spectacular.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Wow. It was kind of funny when I was first talking with her. Excuse me. She was saying, I don't think I could talk for a half an hour, but she did overtime.
Yeah,
So
no,
anyway,
she's
it was so good.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Story that they've been through.
Yeah. It was very impactful.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it was very good. So I guess I'm the last one up, and I was just going to suggest that if any of these speakers resonated with you, and you weren't able to watch the conference, and either on YouTube or with us, I would suggest that you get the Founders All Access Pass. So, so what's included is a 30-day trial to the Optimizer community. It's a private group where other entrepreneurs and change agents gather. It's not Facebook. It's not a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group. You have access to all the replays of the 2-day event with all the presenters. You also get all the gifts that the speakers have been offering throughout the last 2 days. And I will also throw in a monthly book club for continued learning and growth, because I find that people want to promote their books, but also if you study a book or read a book, if you take the time to do that, then you can share and exchange ideas between each other. So, and so I'm offering that at $77. It's a one-time offer. It's only for the Change Maker a summit. It'll go away after tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the last day you can buy it. And then that's it. So I'm just having some tech people help me line everything up because I had some problem. But anyway, so yeah, so I'll give it to you till tomorrow to sign up, and I'll put the link on down below. That link that's there does not work. But anyway, I'll send out an email for everybody. So if anybody's interested, please sign up. And yeah, so that'll be it. The 30-day trial to the Optimizer Club, like I said, is a private group. And once a month, you'll get a course or lesson or something. Somebody might want to do a course or lesson. I have a few in there already, but we'll add them too. You also get the newsletter, which is I'm going to be reviving the Impactful Legacy podcast, and that will start in April. And go from there. So I think it's a really good value. And after 30 days, if you like it a lot, it's $99 a month. But once you leave, you can't come back. So and that's just one of the things that I've learned and known, that people like to bounce in and out of groups, and it isn't very effective for the people that are in the group. So anyway, so that's it. You have any questions or anything, last words you want to say, Barbara?
Just on behalf of all of us that got a chance to present to all of you who will be seeing this and did see it, thank you. We hope that we shared information with you that
Mhm.
really helps you, the audience, on your individual journeys.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Barbara, for being a good support for me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, okay. Thank you, everybody. So I'm gonna pause share. And I'm going to, I guess I have to end this share to